Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and by golly, it's good to be back. Literally in more ways than one. Want to say greetings, good evening, how you doing? Welcome into your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk. Hell, let's just go ahead and say it, sports radio, even though I really hate that term nowadays. This is Beyond Ringside. Yours truly, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Steady Lane. Yep. For those who, the reports of my untimely demise were really freaking wrong. Welcoming in, tag team partner, Mark Mabo Bowman. Mabo, how you doing, man?
I don't know if I told you it was a beautiful day, but the weather is very nice.
It was a beautiful...
That's proving that you don't need sunshine to have a nice day. Because you know what? I like this weather. Piss on the summer. Only good thing about summer is hot chicks and like little booty shorts or bikinis. Other than that, you can keep your damn summer.
Give me the bikinis, I'll be perfectly fine, because half the time when girls are wearing booty shorts, they ain't got the booty to back it up.
Well, you can have the bikinis. I'll take what's usually underneath the bikinis. I don't know what kind of weird cross-dressing stuff you're into.
All right, you sick person. Hold on. Let me adjust some sound real quick, because you're probably going to catch an echo for the first couple of seconds. One more time.
Here's Wicked!
There you go. All right, now we got everybody up to full steam. All right, I'm digging this. We're good. Wicked Nemesis should be joining us momentarily. At least we are hoping we are. Anything can happen around this place. In other words, S-word just hadn't changed a bit. Before I go any further, I want to say thank you to everybody who sent over messages, text messages, emails, Facebook, Twitter. They are greatly appreciated. Last weekend was a weird weekend for me. I'm going to go ahead and lay some cards out on the table. I did go in. I was in the emergency room for a grand total of about 5 hours. Went in for testing a little bit earlier this week on certain issues. And I have now advanced to the Masters round of Stump the Doctor. That's the easy way that I can say it. And the only thing I can do right now is laugh. And for those who know me, I'm going to find a way to smile. Seemed weird yesterday with everything that's gone on. I'm so used to having bookings on Saturday, and lo and behold, when a situation came up, and I want to thank some very good friends of mine up at Live Nation for the passes last night to the Miranda Lambert concert, amazingly enough, and Brett Eldridge, Lee Bryce. Of course, Miranda brought the rest of the Pistolantes with her, and it was a really good show. I had a great time. It was a great crowd at the Oak Mountain Amphitheater. Can you tell I haven't done this for a day or two? It's taken me a second to get back into the swing of things. But yeah, like I said, good friends up at Live Nation. Also, thank you to a really, really good friend of mine for helping to get me up stage side at the rail last night for a great view of Miranda Lambert and the rest of the Pistolantes. So that's all I'm going to say about that, brother.
Wait, I got something to say about that.
Yes.
Honka, honka.
Oh, let's just say short denim skirt, and I do mean damn, which falls inside the parameters of hell damn ass.
We're still doing that old gimmick.
Shh. It's in the rule book. You still haven't read that damn thing, have you?
You still haven't given me the picture version. You know I can't read.
That's true. I did try to send you the Braille version shaped in boobies, but unfortunately you kind of like got stuck on the first sentence.
First sentence? I couldn't even... I almost said it anyway.
You stuttered on the first word.
Well, no, I caught myself, but I'm going to say it anyway. I couldn't even get off the first cover.
Couldn't get off the first. There you go.
I couldn't get off the cover.
That's what she said. Meanwhile, let's go straight on into it. Before we start talking about ROH's upcoming pay-per-view, TNA's got a pay-per-view right around the corner. We're going to be joined in about 23 minutes from right now by professional wrestling star Rob Adonis. We're going to be joined in an hour and 23 minutes by boxing champion Ray Mercer. And Mr. Mercer is brought to us courtesy of our friends over at findadream.org. Thank you to Chico Sherwood. Thank you to Chris Cella. Thank you to everybody with Find a Dream for helping us to set up interviews in recent days, and we got a lot more on the way. Same group that brought us Dan Severn, let's see, back in February of last year, which, you know something, it might be time to see if we can get Mr. Severn back. I like the idea. But, Mabo.
And not only that, but it also spawned, other than Hell Damn Ass, one of the longest running gimmicks on Beyond Ringside, Dan Severn's mustache, Dan Severn's mustache, Dan Severn's mustache, it'll kill you in your sleep.
There you go. I understand that concept. You were out and about last night, a little bit late, but sometimes better late than never. You managed to make it up to Deep Freeze from Chikara, right?
Yes. Am I allowed to mention the city?
No, you're not.
Well,
but Chikara Pro Wrestling came to Alabama last night, and we are very thankful for the fact that they did make it to Alabama last night.
Me more than anybody, Kima Slavi. Oh, can I just say first of all that it's anybody who knows me is you know, or at least knows my passion for the sport of pro wrestling, knows that since my discovery of the wonderful company of Chikara, they know it's been my dream to get to a Chikara event. I mean, you know, I've always made talk of going to their big one, King of Trios, or even Cybernetico, which happens in October, about another month.
Yep.
You know, fortunately, always financial. Something comes up, can't make it. Even when they made it to I want to say the Georgia area last year, around WrestleMania time. I want to say they were in that area. Probably.
Okay.
Anyway, whenever they've been, you know, even in, you know, a couple driving, you know, 100 miles or whatever driving, at least good driving distance. Still never been able to make it financially. But due to my impending hatching day coming up, the woman who spawned me was nice enough to pay for my way to go to Chikara. And so, I mean, I was going to go regardless, but she was at least nice enough to pay for it. So I made the hour and 36-minute trek in that direction.
Yeah.
And went to the show. I was late because, one, I thought it at 7:30. I mean, everybody knows when you start a wrestling show in the state of Alabama, it always starts at 7:30.
Most of them do, yeah, most of them.
I mean, they say 7:30, but most of them usually start a little after.
Actually, I was at one recently that was scheduled to start at 7:30, and they started at 7:15, but keep going.
Nobody cares. Shush.
Shush.
It's me.
It's you. It's all about Mabo right now.
You and the Big Chicken always get to run 30 minutes talking about what you've done over on a Sunday night, or from Saturday on to Sunday. So you know what? It's my turn now. Shush.
Get back to it.
And I love that Big Chicken too. Anyway, so, you know, my suggestion to Google Maps, if you're going to sit there and say go towards an area, make sure you also say get off on the exit of that area. So I don't have to drive over, you know, almost 20 miles in the wrong, you know, direction before I have to turn around, because they're douchebags. Can we say douchebags? I just did. Anyway, so even though I made it about, you know, 30 minutes late to that place that I'm not allowed to mention, to the arena. Luckily, good friend of the show, Jason Coleman, also known as Bev Nerd, also known as Command Man Dan, he kept me apprised, and he also got me there to the arena. So big shout out to him. And he took a couple pictures of me, along with my camera and his camera. So there'll be pictures posted on my Facebook in the next few days. Only missed one match. The opening match. I believe we've had him on our show. Kyle Matthews?
Yes. No. We haven't had a chance to get Kyle on.
Oh, okay. I know we've been in talks with him, right?
Right.
Yes. Anyway, I know Kyle Matthews took on some local jobber. That's all I know. I'm not sure who it was. Didn't catch the name. So I don't really know. I just know it was Kyle Matthews and some local jobber.
Well, Kyle, of course, was voted the #1 wrestler in the state of Georgia. I do believe the calendar year was 2011, and everybody deserves an opportunity to take on some of the very best, regardless of your talent level. And we'll leave it at that.
Yes. But like I said, because I was late, didn't really get to see. But I got in about halfway through the opening match, or the ones that mattered to me, the Chikara matches.
Right.
Oh, son. And it involves 2/3 of the Batiri, Oberian, Kodama, and Ophidian, from the old, can't think of the tag team he was with. Him and Amasis.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Osirian Portal, that was it. Anyway,
That's it.
It was some trios action, Eddie.
Nice.
And the thing is, with the trios action, it was all Rudos except for Sugar. That's right. Good friend of the show, Sugar Dunkerton. Or as Wicked says, Dunkington.
There you go.
I got in right in the middle of that. And for those who don't know the storyline that's been running, Sugar was deposed from the Throwbacks. And he hasn't turned Rudo, but because of the Chikara barometrics, he has somehow now become the quote-unquote water boy to Fist. If you're not familiar with Fist, it's Icarus, Chuck Taylor, and the Dragon Gate USA champion, Johnny Gargano. Gargano couldn't be Gargano, past guest. Take a sip of water for that.
There you go. Toast.
He's actually over in Japan right now. Defended his Open the Freedom Gate title in Dragon Gate. He's went home to the mother company, so that's why he wasn't able to join us. But it's great trios action. Fist and Dunk came up on the losing end. Of course, Fist blamed Sugar. So what can you say? Let's see. Mysterious and Handsome Stranger. He was mysterious, Eddie. He definitely was mysterious. Don't know if he was handsome, but he was mysterious, and he could have been Brad Armstrong. We're not sure. By the way, you know who else was in attendance?
No, did not know.
Christian Haim.
Very nice. Former IWA Deep South champion.
Yes, Christian Haim was there as well, looking as buff and not really buff, but in shape and tan, and still has those girly eyelashes. He and his lovely wife were there. But Mysterious and Handsome Stranger took on Deviant, and you want to talk about, Chikara is known for, one thing. That's not good. Chikara is known for one thing. It's their lucha libre, their high flying, all that. But we also know they're known for their what, Eddie?
They are known for their very unique characterizations.
Okay, what else are they known for, Eddie?
Continue, Mark.
Comedy.
I'm actually working on something. Keep going.
Oh, well, I'm trying to include you, unlike you guys. They're also known for their comedy, and this match had some just tremendous comedy spots. Everything from for some reason, Mysterious and Handsome Stranger pulled finger guns on Deviant. And so there was a lovely exchange of Old West style finger gun action. And anybody who's ever been to the arena where Chikara was held last night know how it's set up. It's got 3 entrances. Well, if you're a fan of old Scooby-Doo, like I am, the gimmick where they're chasing the monster chasing him, and they go in one door, and the monster follows them, and then they somehow split up, and everybody comes out through different doors, and they keep, the door gimmick on everybody knows the door gimmick on Scooby-Doo.
Right.
They did that last night at the show.
Nice.
So it's going to play out very well on the DVD, but the big payoff for that one particular spot was, they were going in and out. Stranger came out the middle door. Deviant came out the left door. Deviant just kept, every time he'd come out, he'd point to his brain and go, "Ha ha, smart." Well, all of a sudden you see Stranger reach back behind him, and another hand wearing Stranger's wristband was able to grab the head of Deviant and pull him back in. And this was about a good, I would say it was about a good 7 foot reach.
Nice.
So it was hilarious. I mean, I laughed. It was definitely just tremendous. The tag team match, that was Fire Ant and Assailant, Tim Donst, Jacob Hamamiya.
There you go.
I did not know that Jakob had morphed into what he is now, but you guys need to definitely follow that tag team and that storyline. It is ridiculous. It's funny. And they picked up their first point. For those who don't know Chikara's deal, you got to have 3 points before you can challenge for the Campeonatos de Parejas. So, Tim Donst, very angsty, very angry, does not want to be with Jakob, that's his BFF. That's his BFF. And to hear Jakob speak, I could sit there and just watch a Jakob promo all day, because he talks in the German accent, and it's very, very familiar to you, Eddie. You must know him. You might have heard him before.
Oh, maybe once or twice.
But it's more over the top, and he claims that team, tag me team. It was hilarious. Of course, Assailant from the Swarm, Fire Ant from the Colony, not really getting along. Once again, Chikara barometrics coming into play. Curse you, Vavasur. So they lost out. But, of course, these matches are not in order, by the way. I'm reading them off the website. But they picked up their first points. I'm going to be definitely interested to follow the Donst Hamamir storyline for the rest of the year and maybe into next year. Dude, you want to talk about all over the place? You couldn't get more all over the place than Frightmare versus Cobalt. Two little dudes in scary masks bouncing all over the place. Cobalt hits Frightmare with the Demon's Toilet. Don't ask. Comes up with a victory. A match not advertised, but I was more than happy to see, especially now that I got to see her up close, and she was smoking hot. Saturnine, the female luchador, the only female luchador, intergalactic female luchador in Chikara right now, took on Soldier Ant.
Nice.
Yes, Soldier Ant coming up on the W column in there. Saturnine, holy crap, Eddie. Holy crap. And I got even more closer look later on, and I'll explain that, because Chikara did something I have never known a company to do. Never have known a company to do this, and I'll explain that as soon as I get finished with this. We skipped that. Grand Akuma versus the Shard. Oh, dude. Oh, my gosh. Stiffer than a room full of old men of Viagra. That's all I got to say. But you want to talk, if you want to see, I would say, I'm not going to say, it was very reminiscent of a Japanese strong style match.
Nice.
Oh, it was brutal. A lot of false finishes towards the end. But, Shard came out on the winning side of that. Grand Akuma. Oh, this guy. I've seen him for a couple years. When he took on Loki at Ted Petty Invitational one year from IWA Mid-South. Sorry, my voice, if I sound a little hoarse, a little raspy, it's because I shouted all night long. And if you think I sound bad, Cabana Man Dad sounds worse. But I saw Icarus take on Loki, it's probably like 6-7 years ago. You want to talk about just kicks, chops. Oh my gosh, this was a striker's paradise, that match. And to know Grand Akuma's work is to know that this guy does not play around. He's vicious, and he's got that unnerving smile. Unfortunately, didn't help him out. The Shard won. Can't say that I agree with it, but whatever. And, Eddie. Oh, Eddie.
Yes?
The match, because I was wanting to see everything. Everything. But the match that I was waiting for, the Spectral Envoy, took on Los Ice Creams. And you guys know I love Los Ice Creams.
Yep.
And Wink Vavasur, the director of fun for Chikara, he might have to pay for this kid's psychoanalysis as he gets older because of what Los Ice Creams did. For those of you who don't know Los Ice Creams, they are basically two giant ice cream peoples.
Right.
From Mexicali, California. And El Hijo del Ice Cream.
In other words, the southern half of the state.
Yes. El Hijo del Ice Cream, for those of you who don't know which one that one is, he's the one with the cone for the goatee cone, not the cone coming out the top of his head. He basically, every opportunity he got, Eddie, he took to leaning over the guardrail in this one kid's face and would just stare him down in the most unnerving fashion. So much to the point that, I mean, we were behind the kid. We were up on the bleachers, but we were behind the kid. So much to the fact that it was unnerving us. It was even when they lost, he rolled out of the ring and was, just and very vocal. Would just it rolled along the length of the guardrail until he got to the kid and stopped and just stared at him. This match, if Stranger and what I say was a Deviant. Anyway, if the Stranger match was funny, this was even better. Spectral Envoy pick up the win and their third point, so they are now allowed to challenge for the Campeonatos de Parejas. First Lions, main event of the evening. Green Ant, Mark Angelicetti missed a touchdown. Young Lions Cup defense. Angelicetti won through shenanigans, thanks to Veronica Ticklefeather, his girlfriend. You heard him mention Veronica.
Right.
I thought Veronica was going to get into a fight with Honey Boo Boo's mom sitting on the front row. And not the real Honey Boo Boo's mom, but an amazing facsimile. And this woman at one point drew her fist back like she was about to punch Veronica. And I'm like, oh, don't make that mistake, lady. But she calmed down after we all started chanting "Sit down, Mama" at her. I think she got a little bit feelings hurt. But Mark Angelicetti won. Green Ant with a wonderful dive, Eddie. I wish you could have seen this plancha. Oh my gosh, might have even been a tope suicida. I'm not sure, but it was just amazing. The whole night was amazing. During the break, there was an intermission. The Bacteria and Ophidian were over in one corner. Smart Mark Videos, they were there. They were filming. Got to meet them. Got to meet Dasher and Ultramantis. Got to meet, got to meet a lot of people. Got in the ring. Got to meet Dasher. Good friend of the show, Gavin Loudspeaker, and like I told you off air, Eddie, Gavin wishes you were there. He really he wanted to see you. He just pouring out. It was just like commented on your voice. He said you had the most amazing radio voice in the world. That's a straight shoot. You can ask CMD.
Well, I would like to say thank you for the very high praise. I've got a lot of respect for Gavin. He's a tremendous announcer. I've had a chance to listen to some of the stuff that he's done. And, to be able to sit back and during the interview that we had with Gavin, to be able to not only, we didn't try to match wits or anything like that, but with somebody who says they're a DJ, I always like to find out where their brain is, as well as when they say they host karaoke. It's like, okay, kindred spirit in progress here. A DJ who does karaoke, who's also a ring announcer for a pro wrestling promotion. Hello, that's a trifecta in play right there. And I always, like to find out a little bit more about the person. And I know we've said it before, and I'll say it again. The door is definitely open for Gavin to come back on down the road.
Well, then you know what? Make sure you got the door jam in front of the door because, as you know, he also does Kaiju Big Battle. They've got something coming up in December, and
nice.
Gavin was like, "Please get in contact with me." So, going to be setting up something for that real soon.
Nice.
And there's also I'll talk to you about it off air, but there was also a sub thing to the trifecta that you and Gavin also share in common.
God.
And you'll figure it out. You mentioned DJs. You'll figure that out.
I have a feeling.
Yes, so you guys definitely have more in common than you think. But he was so gracious. All of them were.
Did we just add Wild Thing Will Owens to the equation?
No.
I'll tell you off air.
Okay. Anyway, but here's the thing, and this is kind of like I rolled a tear. I mean, I was already almost rolling a tear because this was my first Chikara event. Hopefully, it won't be my last. But by the way, myself, Cabana Man Dan, Jason Coleman from Bev Nerd, we did a little something. Talked to a couple of the guys from Chikara about various snacks. As soon as I get it, he gets it edited and makes me not look as fat. And he posts it. I will definitely post it on my Facebook and Twitter, and I will send Eddie the link, and he can post it to the various places. But as we're sitting there going, okay, well, who you want to interview, we noticed that a lot of them were going outside. And I was like, well, that's kind of unusual, like out the front door. A couple, by the way, there are T-shirts. If you get a chance, go to the Chikara store. Go to the Chikara store. Buy the merch. I wish I would have had more money. I would have picked up this year's King of Trios. Hopefully, when I get a little bit of cash in my pocket, I'm going to pick up this year's King of Trios and definitely Deep Freeze, because it was a tremendous show. I mean, there's some places that will phone it in when they're not in their, home market. Not in the least. Not in the least. And I would love to find out what's going on in North Carolina right now. But back to the story. CMD was like, they're all going outside. I'm like, well, that's weird. As you walked out of the door of the arena, all of them, from Bryce Remsburg, who's been on the show, to Gavin, to Soldier Ant, Saturnine, Akuma, all of them were literally lined up on each side of the doorway. And if I get choked up, it's because I'm a big wuss. They literally, every one of them, thanked you personally as you walked out of the door.
Very cool.
Like, for those of you who I don't know if it varies from church, from religious sect to religious sect, but if you've ever been out and you know how when you leave church, the minister, the preacher, the priest, whatever, rabbi, stand outside and the congregation greets you, greets the congregation, whatever. That's what Chikara did. It was like the old Soul Train line. And every one of them thanked you personally. Bryce called me Silent Bob. But yes, and I mean, it was just like, wow, I've never seen that done before, ever. And I've seen where some of the wrestlers from the show will come back out and thank you, but I've never seen almost the entire roster stand outside and personally thank you and shake your hand. Like, you did not wait for them; they waited for you.
Now, let me go ahead and say this. And this isn't saying anything about anything in particular, but I'm just going to lay this one out there. It's actually easier, in my opinion, for an organization such as Chikara, that they don't run a traditional territory on a regular basis. This was their first time in this area. And I will go ahead and say this. I'm going to go ahead and say this. With all due respect in play, to the people that brought in Chikara, I do appreciate it. Thank you for bringing in a quality promotion that normally does not operate in this area. It sounded like, and I'm sure there's stuff that Mark's not telling me on air or off air right now because he didn't make notes. He's going off memory.
Yeah, because it was. I mean, for those of you who have been to that particular venue, know that it's a small venue.
Yeah.
And when I say small, I mean small.
Well,
we're talking Chase Pearson's in the pants small. So, yeah, I just said that.
Shots fired. And the follow-up question is, how do you know? Meanwhile, back at the ranch, let me go ahead and finish this statement real quick.
Pictures. But no, anyway, to back up, it's a small venue, and it doesn't take much to pack it out. But when you're shoulder to shoulder, even on the bleachers, there you go.
Very cool. Continue. Well, like I said, I'm in extraneous circumstances, and we're going to the top of the hour, and we're actually just about to go to the break, and he joins us. Ladies and gentlemen, the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis, Wick, real quick, come on in, buddy.
Hello, everyone.
Great day. I hope you've had a good weekend, sir. No. Uh-oh. Well, tell you what, do me a favor. I can go about a minute and a half. If you've got a recap in play that you want to throw out there, unless you want to wait, because we've got Rob Adonis coming on right after the top of the hour break. And I think I'll take that as a cue to go ahead and go to the top of the hour break. Wicked's Skype is in and out. So tell you what, do me a favor, hang tight, ladies and gentlemen, when we return Professional wrestling star Rob Adonis will be joining us right here on Beyond Ringside. Stay tuned.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Dave, what are you doing?
Just sending a gift to Dave 2037.
Who?
Me in the future. I save a little money from every paycheck for Dave 2037 so he can buy anti-gravity boots or a hologram Doberman. What are you getting Steve 2037?
Steve 2037 will be just fine.
Well, okay, but don't expect to borrow my anti-gravity boots.
Save something for the future. Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is Awesome Austin Creed, the smartest man in this industry called pro wrestling, the valedictorian of this business. You are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
While cutting molding with a 12-inch dual compound miter saw, while holding a newborn baby in your arms, when face to face with a congregation of alligators, with the ball in your hands and the entire freaking season on the line.
There are a million places you'd never consider texting, so why would you do it while driving? NASCAR driver Casey Kane here, asking you to please stop the text, and together we can stop the wrecks.
Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Get the message at stoptextstopwrecks.org.
This is Gabe Sapolsky from Dragon Gate USA and Evolve Pro Wrestling, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Hey, what's up? Holla at ya, boy. XOXOXO. You getting these texts? Question mark. Where are you? What are you doing? OMG, you are making me mad. You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
This is Jim Cornette. You are locked into the show of all time, Beyond Ringside.
Remember when your neighbor found us naked in the car, and the time some outdoor action got us kicked out of the park, getting frisky in the dark. I gave your eye a poke. Think the dog is in the bed, dude. I smell smoke. You and me, we never give up. You and me, we never, ever, ever give up. The whipped cream that we bought, and dressing in the kitchen, then getting caught. So many things can go wrong, but we still can get it right. You and me, we're not gonna give up tonight.
You didn't give up on sex. Don't give up on birth control either. There are more methods than you think. Visit bedsider.org to compare all the choices and put the bogus myths to bed at bedsider.org. Brought to you by Bedsider and the Ad Council. Bedsider.org.
I'm Paul Ellering, and you're locked into Beyond the Ringside.
Let me try.
Okay, just remember what I showed you.
Yep, there was a bunny who had one big ear and another big ear. They looped, made a bow, and the bunny hopped away. I did it!
Oh, good job, kiddo. Now let's tie your other shoe.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Listen up, this is the NWA North American Heavyweight Champion, the Temptation Sean Tempers, and right now, you are locked in with Beyond Ringside.
Hello, my name is Jeffrey, but people in this town call me Maniac. They call me that because I'm the fastest runner in town. But just because everyone knows who I am doesn't mean I belong. I don't really belong anywhere. You see, I'm an orphan, and I wander the streets just looking for a place that I can truly call home. My name is Maniac McGee, and I'm all alone. Explore new worlds. Read my story in the novel Maniac McGee by Jerry Spinelli. For other great book ideas, visit your local library or log on to literacy.gov. Brought to you by the Library of Congress and the Ad Council.
This is Ben Masters locking it down with Beyond Ringside. Don't miss it. Be there.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I don't know how to talk like a parent. Don't make me come back there. You see what I mean? It's pretty awful. Try it again. Don't make me come back there. Now that's pretty good. That one kind of sounded like my dad. Weird.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who would love to put up with you. Call 1-888-200-4005 or visit AdoptUsKids.org for more information. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt Us Kids, and the Ad Council.
This is GCW's senior official Bernie Kowanowitz, and you are locked into Beyond Ringside.
Hi, this is Joe Perry and Steven Tyler of Aerosmith for Red. You know, it's okay to rock and roll and party down. Just don't get in that 2,000-pound bullet when you're done and cocked. And please don't drink and drive. I'm the one that jaded you.
A reminder that friends don't let friends drive drunk. A public service message brought to you by the Ad Council, U.S. Department of Transportation, National Association of Broadcasters, and RAD.
This is Bad Brad Armstrong, part of the famous Armstrong family of professional wrestling, and you're locked in to...
This is Bullet Bob Armstrong. I'm Southern-born, Southern-bred, and I never miss Beyond Ringside.
Welcome to the original rock and wrestling radio show. Welcome to Beyond Ringside, your source for wrestling, MMA, and boxing in the Southeast. To contact the Ringside Roundtable of Beyond Ringside, email them at beyondringside@gmail.com. And now, your host for Beyond Ringside, the man, no myth, all legend, Fast Eddie Lane.
The music plays, the microphones go hot, and we are live on a Sunday night. Welcome to your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, sports talk. This is Beyond Ringside. Live from the Full Range Entertainment Studios in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane, Mike Macaroni, the cheesiest announcer in the business. Thank you for the setup. Like to welcome in tag team partner Mark Mabo Bowman.
My eyes won't focus right now.
Like to welcome in tag team partner the Oracle of Ominous, the Wicked Nemesis.
Well, yeah, after 30 minutes of me trying to stop in, I'm finally decided to call in.
And ladies and gentlemen, joining us now on the BeyondRingside.com hotline, like to welcome in professional wrestling star, the modern-day warrior, Rob Adonis. Mr. Adonis, glad to have you on board tonight.
Thank you for having me on, Fast Edward.
Had a chance to work with you over the last couple of months at a couple of different shows in and around the southeastern United States. We've been trying to set this up. You were originally supposed to join us last week, but courtesy of my emergency room visit, we had to reschedule, and I want to thank you for being so gracious about rescheduling. Thank you, sir.
Well, thank you for having me.
It is definitely our pleasure. Let's go ahead and take it to the beginning. The signature question that I have, that I always like to hear everybody's response, because normally everybody is different in this particular regard. For all of us in the world of professional wrestling, even in mixed martial arts, boxing, and a lot of other sports, there are two moments in particular that help guide us, so to speak. Number one is the moment we become a fan of this business, and in this case, it's professional wrestling. The second moment is when the little light bulb goes off over the head, and it's that moment where you just realize and say to yourself, I've got to get into this. For Rob Adonis, what are those two moments?
The first moment that I became a fan was around Christmas time of 1981. I was 5 years old, and I had somehow scored myself a bootleg copy of Ric Flair defeating Dusty Rhodes for the NWA World title on VHS, mind you. in St. Louis, Missouri. He did the old suplex over the top rope and wound up landing on top of Dusty, I think, and pinned him. And I don't remember how I came about it. I don't remember. I'm sure an older family member, maybe my older brother or somebody, back in the 80s when people used to swap VHS tapes around. And I remember we had just gotten a VCR, and I had just learned what a VCR even was that year around Christmas time. And I had somehow, for the first time ever, popped one of these little magical cassette tapes in and saw unfold on television what I thought was just one of the greatest things I'd ever witnessed with my eyeballs, and became instantly a huge Ric Flair fan and just a fan of the sport all the way around. So that would have been winter of 81. It may have been January of 82, somewhere right around the Christmas time area, maybe right after that, because I think that match happened in September of that year, so that the tape wouldn't have been circulating very long. And back then, of course, it took like 3 months to get tapes out, into the marketplace before you could go to, back then I think we went to Turtles, which got bought out by Blockbuster, which later, became wherever and whatever, Best Buy or whoever sells them now. But
yeah.
So that was the moment at which I first realized that, wow, this is about one of the best things you could possibly watch on television. And from that point on, as a kid, soon as Saturday Night Superstars started coming on in the Metro Atlanta, Georgia area, where I grew up, that was a show that came on one of the UHF channels, I think. It was hosted by Bonnie Blackstone and Joe Pedicino. It featured wrestling from all over the country, from like each hour on the hour, from 7 o'clock till about 2 in the morning. And my basic deal with my parents was I could stay up as late as I wanted and watch all I could watch on Saturday night as long as I got up with no problem and went to church on Sunday morning, which I always held up my end of the deal. And they never gave me any flack about, staying up watching it. And I watched every hour of it except the hour that Glow came on, because I absolutely hated Glow, mainly because I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it. And it was because of their opening vignette video shot at the Riviera Hotel and Casino in Vegas, where all of the good guys and the bad guys are on the same escalator singing the Glow theme song. And I thought to myself, wait a minute, you guys hate each other. Why are you singing a song, doing a video together? So I didn't buy it at whatever age. That would have been 5, 6, 7, 8, somewhere in there. Other than that, I watched every hour of it every Saturday night. It was like NWA came on at 7, WWF came on at 8, I think AWA came on at 9, and then World Class came on, and then local North Georgia wrestling came on later, and then there'd be some other stuff traveled in there from other parts and regions. Sometimes they show little Canadian wrestling from up in the Calgary area. Sometimes they'd be something from Florida or Continental or whatever. Then the Glow would come on, and that's when I would go do something else, for an hour, and come back, and then sometimes they would replay the NWA hour. Of course, later became WCW NWA, but so that was the moment where I started and became a fan, and then of course carried that through, and have literally have watched wrestling since I was about 5 years old. I don't ever remember a period where I didn't actively watch it. Of course, I mean there would be weeks here and there that I'd be busy tied up doing something, but I've always been a fan, and I've always been a person that enjoyed watching it and all that. And then the day at which the light bulb went off and I realized that I wanted to become a part of it, that was May 1st, 1999. That was the day I graduated from college with my second degree from Reinhardt College. I got my second degree was in communication, and I had promised my parents, even in high school, I always kid around I wanted to be a pro wrestler because I was a pretty big kid, and it seemed fairly logical that I could have probably been, I probably could have played football or done some, bigger, more, size-based sports, stuff like that, because I was a pretty big kid. But I'd always kidded with my parents that, I wanted to be a wrestler. And they said, well, as long as you graduate from college first, you go do whatever you want to do. We'll support you. I graduated from college on May 1st, 1999, and that day around lunchtime, I was in a wrestling school in Atlanta, doing basically a kind of a bump workshop / tryout / let's see if you've got anything close to what it takes to try to do this. And then that's where my training started. And then my first match happened July 31st of 1999, and it's been a 14-year roller coaster ever since.
I can definitely believe that. And by the way, if I remember correctly, it was WVUE Channel 69 out of Atlanta where Pedicino and Bonnie Blackstone hosted on Saturday nights.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think it later changed to Sammy Kent was the host of it with the little hand puppet that looked like him. He and Bonnie Blackstone did it for a while, and they went through a few hosts over about, I guess probably the decade or so they were on. So
yeah, I lived in Atlanta from 89 to 93. I remember Blackstone and Pedicino doing it.
Yep.
Mark Bowman, Mark Bowman, come on in with Rob Adonis.
How you doing, Rob? Who were some of the guys you saw on TV? Who were some of them that you looked up to and were like, that is the guy that I want to be if I ever become a pro wrestler?
Well, the guys that I'm most, looked at and saw, and even the guys that, when I was a kid, of course, trying to figure out how to do the moves on my trampoline or off the diving board in the pool or with my buddies on the playground or wherever, was Flair, Tully, Arn. Those were probably my three of my top favorites. I was always a fan of the heels all the time. But really, as a kid, about the only baby faces I ever really liked at all were Steamboat and let's see, I tried to go with Steamboat and Magnum TA. I liked him when he was hot there in the late '80s. I'd say those guys were my primary ones as a little kid. I say little kid from 84 through about 88, 89, kind of up till I got in high school in 1990. So I'd say pretty much the Arn, Tully, Flair, Magnum, and Ricky Steamboat, because I was always much more exposed to the Southern wrestling of the NWA than I was the WWF. I mean, I knew who Hogan was, and I knew who Nikolai Volkov and the Iron Sheik, and I knew all the participants of WrestleMania 1 and all that, but I was only exposed to maybe an hour a week of that stuff, so it wasn't nearly as much of, didn't make as much of an impression on me just because I wasn't around it, didn't see it as much. So I was much more pretty much had been the lifelong Horseman fan. That was always my thing. Was I loved the way Flair talked and got in the ring and sold. I loved the technical style of Tully, and then I loved just the methodic prowess of Arn and but then if I ever wanted to be the good guy, then of course I like the open-handed assaults of Steamboat, and then of course the belly-to-belly suplex of Magnum. So I'd say those were probably my top 5 as a kid. So
Wicked Nemesis, come on live with Rob Adonis. And I think we lost Wick. It happens every once in a while. First the Skype goes, then the phone goes, and then the Mohawk goes. Now, you have been working... hold on. Let me get the mouse back over here. I really need to put an external mouse on this laptop. Wicked, welcome back.
Sorry about that. I was trying to unmute my phone. Mr. Adonis, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm great, Wicked. How you doing?
I've known Rob for about 4 or 5 years right now. Rob is one of those guys that is a true veteran of the locker room. We actually had this discussion before. Rob, let me ask you a question. How many times do you sit at a show? Being a veteran that began his career in 1999, how many times do you sit at a show and not a single greenhorn/rookie/ somebody that hasn't done much in this business comes up to you and doesn't even ask you anything? How often do you sit there and people don't even ask you advice on their matches?
Oh gosh, I don't think I could put a number on it. It happens all the time. More this year than last year, and more that year than the year before. I mean, as I get older, I feel like I probably become more distant from the younger crowd of workers out there and the younger crew of guys coming in, and I'm sure part of that is I don't necessarily think it's disrespectful necessarily. I mean, I think some of it may be there may be some some issues like that, but I usually just rack it up and say, well, they probably go to guys that more are suited to the style in which they try to get out there and go, and if they're a super high flyer and really fast-paced guys, and maybe they're going to those guys and talking to them or something. But it happens more times than not. I mean, gosh, I'd say, you know, every month that there's probably at least one show that I'm on to where I'm, you know, out there, you know, kind of watching from the curtain or watching from the back, and we'll see guys that are, you know, a year or less in that are out there that I'm, you know, and I do sit back and wonder, you know, I wonder why the guys aren't, why they're not, you know, picking the brains back in the back a little bit more. And, you know, it's always baffled me, because it's like guys want so badly, seems like they want to get into that locker room, and they want to get in the business, and they want to get those boots, and they want to get those tights, and they want to get out there and have a program and start doing matches and all. But it's like it's almost kind of that divide and conquer mentality, where they get there, and then it's like once they've arrived, they think, well, I've arrived. There's really nothing else I need to do other than just continue doing what I'm doing. And of course, I mean, that's one way to approach it, but, you know, I think that's going to limit your level at which you can get better, and it's going to limit how fast you can progress, because, you know, I've been going for, you know, almost a decade and a half, and I have not had a year, you know, bar none. I mean, of the 14 plus I've been in it, I haven't had a year that I have done fewer than 100 matches. I mean, that's been, you know, I think I probably had 2 years out of that 14 that I did, you know, 100, 110, 115 matches over the year. But most years it's closer to, you know, 150, 175 matches. Well, probably between 125 and 150, because it's definitely not a full-time thing for me. But even at my point, at this point, I mean, I'm still constantly getting guys who, you know, whether they're older than me or younger than me or whatever, you know, if it's guys that I see get out there and go, and I see that they've got it, they have whatever that it factor is, they seem to have it, then, I mean, I get those guys to watch me and critique me. And, you know, a lot of times that's hard for younger guys to do, but I mean, I'm a big fan of Marvelous Michael Stevens and Drew Adler. Those guys, I've really grown to watch their stuff a lot over the last couple of years, and I'm constantly going up to those guys, because they watch with a different eye than a lot of guys their age do, and they see things differently, and they, you know, and they're very willing to call me out on stuff if I do something that they're like, I wasn't real sure what you were doing here. I mean, they're never disrespectful about it. They're always, you know, very cool with it. But you know, I think they understand that I'm still trying to up my game and trying to stay relevant. You know, because I mean, ultimately, I'd love to be approachable to people. I'd love to be the guy that people think they can go to and ask. And I'm always flattered when they do, because I mean that, you know, it's always an honor anytime somebody walks up and asks your thoughts or opinions on something. But so I mean, I'm still that guy who goes around. I mean, I've wrestled so many guys who are so much you know, better than me and older than me, and have been, you know, veterans longer than, you know, than anybody in the locker room, and I constantly find myself trying to dive in conversations with them about you know, any aspect or angle that I can. But yeah, I get your you know, your kind of your stance and question on that, because it does baffle me sometimes, especially if I'm maybe the veteran of the locker room. I mean, I've been in a lot of locker rooms that I'm you know, by far the most experienced guy in there, maybe about 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years maybe. And I'm amazed. I was in a locker room one night in Alabama. What was that? I don't remember what town it was in. Maybe Piedmont, Alabama, I think maybe. And a lot of young guys. I mean, and when I say young, I mean, you know, like under. I mean, I don't think these guys could buy or could. Yeah, these guys couldn't buy alcohol. I mean, they couldn't rent a car. I mean, they're like under 20, 21, 22. You know, really young guys. And there were no questions flying around. There was no conversation going on. It was just them in their little world doing their little thing. And, you know, and unfortunately, you know, I kind of saw, you know, what looked like a very flat show, a very flat series of performances, and nothing special about it. And then, you know, months later, you know, I see the guys in other shows, and they don't grow. They don't get a lot better. And that's unfortunate, because this is one industry that for sure, because we don't have an off season, there's no time to take off and go and just dedicate, you know, 6 months to studying film and hitting the gym. I mean, we're out there, you know, 24/7, 365. Anytime anybody can call you and book you for something, and you got to be ready to go. So you've got to be in constant wrestling mode. You got to be in constant promo mode. You got to be in constant learning mode, and you've got to be, all things to all promoters all the way around, because you may get hit with a lot of travel one month, not so much the next month, and you've got to you got to pick up what you can where you can. So yeah, it baffles me that some of the younger guys are not really into that, but but there's they have access to a lot more stuff than I had in when I started as well. I mean, obviously with the internet, with social, media, and they, I'm sure they're talking to somebody. It's just maybe not me, but because there's a lot of guys out there that get better by leaps and bounds every month. But it still, though, it never phases me and never fails to happen that you get in there and I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't want to go up and just initiate it because I don't want to feel like I'm intruding on their space. But if those, I think to myself, man, if those guys come over and approach me on this, I definitely would like to address what they're thinking about going out there and doing, because I think they are not going to get the reaction they're looking for, and and something like that. I mean, unless it's something that I think I'm just overtly looking at going, wow, these guys are going to get hurt real bad. I'll go kind of intersect right there and jump in if I think there's going to be an injury coming up or something, and just at least try to give them a little wisdom on it. But I try to stay out of it, and if people don't want to know what I'm thinking, and I'm happy enough just to be the guy in the corner just cracking jokes. So.
Speaking of, you've had a chance to work in a number of different areas in and around the southeastern U.S. as well as around the eastern U.S., I should say. How many different promotions have you worked with, and what has been your favorite area to work so far?
Is that me? Am I getting some interference? Okay.
Actually, that's Wicked Skype. Actually, that's Wicked. That's your Skype causing the interference on that one.
Okay. I think we're good now. So.
Okay. Now the question was, how many different areas have you worked in by this point, and what has been your favorite area to work in so far?
Cool. Wow. Well, I have been super fortunate and very blessed in my career. I've only had a very, very few months that I had to take off for whatever reason, injury or just scheduling conflicts, whatever. I mean, honestly, in 14 years, I've only had, I think I counted up the other day that I've had a total of 4 months off in 14 years.
Nice.
That I couldn't take bookings for whatever reason. Now I've had a couple of stretches. Actually, other than that, I don't think I've ever gone more than about 20 or 21 days that I didn't have a booking. I mean, there have been a couple of months, especially around the holidays, and a lot of promotions will shut down for, the last half of December, first half of January, or whatever. But, barring that, though, I've been very fortunate to stay active and stay healthy and all. And I travel and do a lot. I mean, I had a run in first had gotten in, maybe it's only been in a couple of years, to where I think the entire month of July, I was single, wasn't married, didn't own a home, didn't have the burden of that going on, and I was kind of just sort of footloose and fancy free, and I was off in summertime from my day job, and so and I spent like 35 straight days on the road, either flying, driving, being driven, being chauffeured, whatever, from show to show. Got to work in about 6 different states in all kinds of atmospheres and climates, and I'd have to say probably among my favorite places to work. Well, I can tell you my least favorite spot to work was I got to go and wrestle in Switzerland in 2006.
Nice.
And I hated it. It was just awful. The crowd over there was just. They didn't really pick the fan favorite and the rule breaker, like we do here. They just you would a move would happen and they would cheer, and it was for me it was really a very different experience. I remember the ring being like, I mean, we might as well have been wrestling on a concrete rooftop. It was so hard and painful. And then I remember that 10-hour flight home. Was pretty rough. So that one was among the more difficult ones. I'd say probably my favorite crowds and my favorite areas. I really enjoy the Alabama crowds that I've worked in front of, because they seem to be in Alabama. They seem to still really truly enjoy being wrestling fans. And there I've seen much larger numbers of people who enjoy the purity of wrestling, and they enjoy the true the art of it. I mean, they enjoy their role as fans. They enjoy our role as wrestlers. They enjoy the managers' roles as managers, and they enjoy. I mean, they seem to really get to connect to the fact that it's about, you know, it's about going out there from, you know, 8 o'clock till 10:30 or whatever, and going out there and really letting it fly, and going out there and really competing. And I think that really draws me to that area. I've always enjoyed that factor about that area because, you know, that's why I got into it, because I enjoyed watching it as a kid. I enjoyed doing it as an adult. I mean, yeah, it hurts. And, you know, a lot of people, you know, call us crazy for putting ourselves through the physicality of it, but it's a good hurt. You know, it's uncomfortable at times, obviously, but it's a good feeling, you know, when you get out there and you've gone hard and you've had a great match, you know, whether you win or lose. But I would say that's among my favorite groups or sects to work in front of. Probably my least favorite are the and I'm going to kind of speak in generalities here because there's so many of them, I don't think I can name them all. But my least favorite ones are the crowds that think they know more than they know, and the crowd attempts to push or dictate the pace of a show, and they try to push or dictate what's going on in the ring. And it always baffles me at some of these crowds that they think because they scour the internet and they've learned a few terms, and they might have have talked to a wrestler at a drive-through window for 5 minutes. Suddenly they think they're smart to everything, and they think that they get it, and they think that they're on the up and up. They're on the inside of it. And crowds that are full of people like that, who are really not on the up and up, and they're not on the inside of it, those are among my least favorite ones, because I typically have found that a few of those 100 of those people in the crowd will kill it for the other several hundred that are there just to try to be the pure at heart fan wanting to come enjoy an evening of wrestling. Now, I've also wrestled in front of crowds that were full of nothing but the guys that were kind of on the inside, and they did know, and those crowds weren't bad at all, because they were looking for a different level. They were looking for a different gear for us to shift into, and that sometimes can push a performer to get out there and push their comfort zone and then push the envelope a little bit. That's not a bad thing, I don't think. But it's the crowds that think they know what's going on who truly are clueless. Those are the ones I despise working in front of, because it's kind of like, it's like having an argument with someone who's too dumb to know that they don't know anything about the argument. It's like we used to say at the karate school I trained out when I was a kid. It's like we used to tell people when they got their black belt or their brown belt, we'd say, you know just enough karate to get beat up now. And that was kind of the old brown belt mantra, because that brown belt needed to be that kid who was just salivating for that black belt. He needed to be in that gym training every night. He needed to be taking the punches and taking the kicks and taking the bruises and taking the blows and just sucking up and dealing with it if he wanted that black belt. And that's what we used to tell the brown belt. That's what I got told when I got my brown belt, was you know just enough karate now to go out there and get your tail whipped. And so it's kind of like that with the crowds. I don't like working in front of those crowds, because they seem to be so interested in trying to dictate and push the pace of a show to what they want, that they miss the fact that they're still the fan, and the performers are the ones on the other side of the barricade, and it's like they aren't quick enough to realize that they're not only are they missing out on enjoying the experience of it, they're probably ruining it for people who paid their hard-earned money to come in and see and be a part of it. And I always hate it and feel bad, especially for the ones that are coming in just to be fans. And it's like you've got this group, and they think it's funny to do this or that or whatever, and it's like that. I'm not a big fan of that. I'm a fan of etiquette personally, whether the heel or the performer's out there ragging on the crowd, or whether he's begging for the kind of the old pie to be thrown in the face or whatever. That's part of their role. I'm a fan. I'm a theater director is my other job, and in my career, and we have the theater etiquette says you either laugh, cry, or clap, and that's it. Of course in wrestling you got to add booing. Obviously, that's another great response. But trying to draw attention to yourself in the crowd as you're not a part of the performance, you're not a part of the show. trying to make yourself a part of the show, that kind of stuff, it really gets annoying because it never fails that when we finally draw that person in and we put a little emphasis on them, they're the very ones that wind up going to the office complaining and griping and whining because I got called out on this, I got made fun of because of this, I got this happen, that happened, whatever. And it's like, look, if you don't want your cake and eat it too, I mean, you've got to decide, what are you here for? And so I think of the crowds, and again, it'd be too hard to specify a specific city or town that happens in, but if that's a crowd or town that I'm in, it's usually kind of one of those where you're just like, you go out there and do the best match you can, and you don't mingle as much, and you just kind of move on to the next venue. So.
You are listening to Beyond Ringside live on a Sunday night, 23 before the top of the hour. Fast Eddie Lane, Mark Mabo Bowman, and the Wicked Nemesis being joined by professional wrestling star Rob Adonis. We are scheduled to be joined in about 22 minutes from right now by Olympic gold medalist in boxing and former world boxing champion Merciless Ray Mercer on this Sunday night edition. Thank you to everybody who's listening through BeyondRingside.com, as well as our Facebook fan page, as well as through the Shoutcast Radio Network as well. And the best of Beyond Ringside 24/7 is available through BeyondRingside.com. Mark Bowman, come on back in with Rob Adonis.
Now, Rob, you have used the moniker the Modern Day Warrior, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, out of all the warriors that have come and gone in the lifespan that is known as pro wrestling, who has been your favorite quote-unquote warrior other than yourself?
None of them. I didn't like any of them. And I'll be happy to diagram this out for you. The only thing I liked about Kerry Von Erich, the original Modern Day Warrior, was his ring entrance music because it was Rush, which is what I use. I loved his entrance, and I thought, that's really, because I'm a big Rush fan, but I hated I hated the type of character that he always portrayed because he was always that baby face that always got duped. He was always just not quite looking in the right spot and turn around and bam, walk into one, and he always came up a day late and $1 short. Other than the David Von Erich Memorial Parade of Champions where he beat Flair for the belt, and then he lost it back, just a few days later, or a month later, whatever. I always hated that because I wanted to pull for him. I wanted to like him, but I wanted him to be a smarter good guy. I wanted him to be a cunning good guy. So he was definitely not one of my favorite warriors. The Road Warriors I thought were cool because of the face paint, and as a kid I was a Kiss fan because of the face paint. But as I got older, I realized that they, were a big, jacked up, muscled up tag team, and they were cool and they were dominating when I was a kid. But then once I got in and really learned the technique and how it worked, looked at and realized that, I didn't really like their style a whole lot either, as far as that goes. And then, of course, the Ultimate Warrior, who started out as the Dingo Warrior, I was never a fan of him because he was just always that way over the top, again, super total good guy who, I've just, again, never been a big fan of the good guy all the way around, just in general. I didn't like the fact that he just darted to the ring like he did. I always liked the entrance part of the show. I always thought that was a big part of it. And just the fact that he darted to the ring, I always hated. And the rope shaking thing, I always hated. And then, of course, watching the way he wrestled, I wasn't a big fan of his moveset of stuff that he did. And, just never a big, huge fan of that. My favorite feud that he did was with Rick Rude. And, of course, I always was pulling for Rude over him, of all the stuff I saw him do. And then, of course, again, the Dingo Warrior, his first thing in World Class, that didn't go very long, so it wasn't really much to talk about. So I had to say, at least of those warriors, I'd have to say none of them really were, honestly, were my favorite. So I have to go with me, as I hate to sound arrogant or cocky, but and not that I'm better than any of those guys or anything, because they certainly made a lot more money than I've made and made a much bigger dent in the industry than I did. But I have to say, as far as if I had to map out on paper what I liked and didn't like, I would have much more that I think I like that I do, as far as if I were a fan watching, than what they did. As far as the sheer stuff you put on paper, pros and cons. So,
Wicked Nemesis, come on with Rob Adonis.
Rob, we got to get serious for a second, Mr. Adonis. several months ago we had, and I'm sure Eddie will be able to throw off the date with this. We had Jonathan Rodriguez, J-Rod on, and we were talking to him about, the incident that occurred at Rampage between you two when you lost your eye. And we have his side of the story. If we can we get your side of the story, sir?
Well, for what I remember happening on that date, there was a move that had been talked through in the back that was supposed to be performed by him on me. I was supposed to be on the floor. He was in the ring. He was going to slingshot over the top rope and hit me with 2 knees to the chest, and us basically kind of collide and bump apart. And then the guys in the ring, which is Frankie Valentine and Bobby Moore, were going to finish. The match was going to rest on them for the end of it. When it came time to hit the spot, I didn't get 2 knees to the chest. I got 1 knee to the face, and so that was pretty much how it happened. I was in the spot that I was, under the understanding I was supposed to be, and the move just didn't come off the way that I was at least under the understanding it was going to happen. And I threw a hand up once I saw it was kind of going awry, but there was, I guess, too much force and velocity and motion going on to try to stop. It, obviously. So the hand up didn't obviously get all of it out of the way, and so the collision hit, and there you go. So
now, if you will, tell everyone listening what it's like to actually have to grab your own eyeball and save it.
Grab what now?
Your own eyeball, because I've heard from everybody there that you actually saved your own eyeball from coming out of your skull. So.
Oh no. No, I think that was blown up pretty big, and it actually hit below that. It hit me in the cheek. So there wasn't any eye damage at all. Actually, it was called a. I wish I could think of what the actual term for it was called. But it wasn't actually the eye. Now, granted, there was some blackening around the eye that happened as the course of any time you get hit in the face. I mean, it tends to go, from the eyeball seems to be that's where you get most of the blackness. So it looked really bad, but it actually wasn't. It was actually on the kind of the jaw and the cheek more than it was on the eye. So I think that may have kind of spawned into folklore and legend a little bigger than it was, because it didn't. It really, honestly, it hit, and when I went down, I came. I took a bump and came up and immediately grabbed my jaw, thinking, "Oh no, I broke my jaw." That's what I had initially thought. And it wasn't quite that low. It was a little bit higher than that. So, and it wasn't, of course I went to the, end of the match there, and then realized that I had suffered a little bigger injury than I thought I had. So it wasn't quite up to the eye. It was, but I think everybody kind of took it as that, and I kind of, I sold it as that, just because it was just easier, because again, there was some blackening around it and discoloration and swelling and all that, but it actually wasn't. So it didn't get to that point. It definitely wasn't. I mean, I think if I'd actually had to touch my eyeball, I would have thrown up everywhere, and I would have, I don't know what I would. I guarantee I would have thrown up everywhere. So, for sure. So.
Yeah, because the word that got back to me was impacted and fractured orbital socket. I believe.
No, it wasn't that. And I'm not sure where that got to, but that definitely wasn't what the actual prognosis was. So,
well,
I wish I could tell you what it was, honestly, but because I don't have my paperwork in front of me. But it wasn't that. It really wasn't. Again, it wasn't anything to do with the eye itself. There was no damage to the eye or anything. It was, again, just kind of up in the cheek area, and kind of the sinus cavity area back in there. That was where most of the the true damage and swelling and stuff was from right there. So,
Wicked, you were trying to come back in?
I'm sorry?
No, I was just going to say that, yes, that's exactly what was told to myself as well. And like you said, it probably was one of those things. And as you all know, something that happens outside the ring by the time he gets back in the back is usually something a lot bigger. But
Yeah.
Right.
Has there been
Well,
any...
we tend to live in a world of blowing small stuff up to big stuff anyway. So I think that's kind of the nature of the beast all the way around. I mean, I've had a couple of times where I've just taken maybe a little shot in the nose, just maybe a little trickle bloody nose, and by the time I get to the locker room, it's, oh man, he's had his nose shattered and he's going to have reconstructive surgery. It's like, wow, it's just a knuckle to the left nostril or something, and I've had a few of those that, again, it was nothing that a Q-tip didn't fix, a cotton ball, but by the time you get to the internet, of course, it's, I'm out for 2 years and going to have to change my name. So,
Mr.
Explode on the internet.
That is a very underhanded shot at Micah Taylor there that you just did.
Do I now? Oh, with the knuckle, the one shot. Mike and that third finger knuckle always sticking out. He's popped me with that more times than I can remember. So he's a good guy, though. It's always a good shot. It's solid. So.
And speaking of, I know that over in Global Championship Wrestling, you've had a little bit of an issue, and apparently Micah's developed an issue. There's been a little bit of a running situation between the two of y'all, both in Canton, Georgia, and it's also starting to stem over here into Alabama.
Yeah, there is. Well, Mike and I have known each other for several years. I think we actually we talked about this years ago. We both worked for a promotion in Middle Georgia that he was booking for a while that I worked on, and then I booked after he left, and we went for. We worked on that promotion for a couple of years together, and I don't think ever got in the ring together at all, in anything. So we had a pretty good locker room relationship at that point, because obviously we weren't competing with each other, and it wasn't, wasn't out of the ordinary to just kind of hang out in the back and talk. But he and I actually had met each other when he had first gotten in years and years ago. We worked for a guy in North Carolina who used to book shows. And Mike was, I hadn't been working very long, and because I've only been working a couple of years longer than he has, I think. And he was working up there as well. So we actually had met up in North Carolina. Again, this is probably, 9 years ago, maybe 7, 8, 9, 10 years ago. And so we had gotten reminiscent about that a little bit. And then again, had no real issues in the ring with anything. And then what actually started it all was from the injury. I had been booked to speak, actually, just as a kind of an ambassador for the company, I guess, at a show, because they were booking a show out of my town where I live in, up in Cherokee County in North Georgia. And Mike, of course, was the champion of the show. And coming in, I had been booked by the booking committee. And, the promotion there had booked me in as again, a local talent coming out, and was still on the injured list and couldn't compete, and was out speaking to the crowd and just kind of giving a from the heart to them. And, Mike came out and interrupted the thing, and actually wound up taking a shot at me while I was still on the DL list, so to say. And so that actually is what started our issue with that's actually what had started our issue with each other, as far as the I guess the current state of Global,
right,
was on that night. I think that was back in July, or that was in August maybe. And so he came out and took, and when I say took a shot, literally, drew back and took a shot. And, of course, the last thing I was expecting was for the company, the champ, the guy who's kind of carrying the flag bearer of the company to come out. I could understand him not wanting, maybe not wanting to sit in the back and listen to me if he, didn't like what I was saying. Or I could understand if he had, I don't know, maybe he had other plans for the segment that was out there, but I couldn't really, see and really didn't even entertain the idea that he'd actually come out and take a swing at me, especially in the back. I hadn't, I'd walk up and shake hands with him. Of course, when I got there, I went to the locker room, seem to have any real issue with him. And then we get out there, and I go out to the ring, and I'm out there talking to the crowd, and then he comes out, interrupts me, and then bam, takes a shot. And so of course, I said, I'm going to finish this injury thing up in the next few days, and you can count on seeing me again. And so we got to see each other again, and the very next show they had in Canton, I was fortunate enough to be able to tag with Brad Armstrong and get in the ring face off with him and Swinger. It was supposed to be a title match for Micah's title, and he, I don't know how, I don't know who he's in with at the office, or by hook or by crook or how, but he somehow got that changed to where he wasn't going to have to face me for his GCW title that night. And so, it worked out. There was actually no title match at all that happened that night. It just wound up being the tag match for the main event. And, I wound up, at the end of the thing, I caught him with a spine buster and put him down and pinned him. So, of our one encounter that we've had at GCW, I've got the check mark in the win column, and he's got the big L on his forehead for it. So I think he should be under the impression that he has got he's got a bullseye on him with that championship around his waist, and he should also know that obviously I'm very capable, especially once I get pushed and shoved, as he did that night. I'm very capable when the cards hit the table. You can bet your bottom dollar that win, lose or draw, you're going to know you've been in there once you get done with me. So he should enjoy that title reign while he's got it. And I know he had a match with O'Hagan at the show in Pell City just a week ago.
Yes.
And O'Hagan also pulled a victory out over him. Of course, it was later, the match was restarted because there was some issue with, a foot under the rope, I think, and, the referee, did or did not see or whatever. So, I think Micah Taylor should recognize that he and the underground guys, while they may think they're running the show, and they may be running it for now, they may be carrying the tag team titles, they may be carrying the heavyweight title, they should know that bullseye is big and it's wide and it's bright, and he's got guys trailing on him. I took one of his guys and taught him a lesson, the Aiden Solo, last weekend, and he got to feel the spine buster, and he didn't get up too quick from it himself. So I think he and the underground better all recognize that there's a new guy in town, and he's coming quick, and he's coming big, and he's coming hard, and they better hold on to those titles and hold on to them for all they got, because once I get a shot to get them around my waist, that's exactly what's going to happen with them. So.
Rob, do me a favor. We're just before the top of the hour. Where can everybody catch you in the upcoming days? I know that we're scheduled to see you on Saturday night, October the 20th in Canton, Georgia with Global Championship Wrestling. Also, when GCW returns to Pell City on October the 27th at the Pell City Civic Center. What else have you got lined up coming up?
I've got a DVD taping that's going to happen in Warner Robins, Georgia with Rampage Pro Wrestling on October 28th. That's a 3:00 p.m. Sunday afternoon taping. That's also their TV show as well, so that'll air, and then also be put on DVD on the 28th. And then I've got, I just left the taping down there. We just had a triple taping down there that we just finished a couple hours ago. And off the top of my head, I think that's about all I got going on. October's a little light for me, but my other job, that's a pretty heavy season for me with the theater that I'm director of. That's when we have several performances coming up, so I have to clear up my weekends for that with the theater group. So October's a little lighter for me than most months. So that's really GCW and then RPW for the one show in October. That's my three next big ones coming up. So.
Rob, I want to thank you for being so generous with your time. I cannot believe that an hour has flown by. Believe me when I say the door is always open. You've got upcoming bookings, upcoming events coming up that you'd like to try to help get the word out. You've got our number. Shoot us a text, and feel free to. Would love to have you come back on sometime.
Fantastic. I'd love to do it. It was a true pleasure, and you guys are scholars and gentlemen, and it's been a great hour. I can't believe it's already been an hour, too, but I'll come back here 2 hours next time. So.
Ladies and gentlemen, the modern-day warrior, Rob Adonis, has just gone beyond ringside. We will be back right after the top of the hour, and we're going to be joined by professional boxing champion and Olympic gold medalist Ray Mercer right here on the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Stay tuned.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best. Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Chris, you're not acting like a grown-up in our relationship.
Am too.
There's your comic book collection, the race car bed.
I'm young at heart, but I put money into my 401k every paycheck. I'm taking control over my financial life, and that feels pretty grown up to me.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free ideas and easy ways to save, go to feedthepig.org. That's feedthepig.org. Are those footy pajamas?
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
The odds of becoming a signed artist and having 3 #1 albums? 1 in 100 million. The odds of going on to win 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of this performer having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. I'm Toni Braxton, and I encourage you to learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Autism Speaks. It's time to listen. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
It is with sound mind and body that I, James Fredericks III, after fighting with all direct family members for decades, leave my entire fortune of $32 million to the one friend I had in the end, the package delivery guy, Matt Songer.
Woohoo! Yeah! I had a feeling about this. I'm rich! Oh, this cannot be happening.
Actually, it's not happening.
What?
And it never will.
I don't get it.
There aren't even people here. That's just one of those murmuring sound effects.
Seriously?
Listen, if you want to have money in your future, don't rely on luck. Put $10 away each month. Cook once in a while instead of eating out.
Okay.
Pay down your high-interest credit cards.
Right.
Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow.
So, no inheritance?
No. Go to feedthepig.org for more free ideas.
Feedthepig.org.
This message brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
And just to be clear, no inheritance, right?
8. I deliver your Sunday paper every week.
7. We work on the same floor.
1 in 8 Americans is struggling with hunger.
6. Our kids walk to school together every day,
including millions of children and seniors.
5. We chat in the elevator at work sometimes.
4. I'm your cashier at the grocery store.
Who's the 1 in 8 in your life that needs help? You can make a difference through Feeding America at feedingamerica.org/1 in 8. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Most days go by without a whole lot of surprises. But what if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life, as you know it, has completely turned on its head? Would you be prepared? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, be ready. Get a kit. Make a plan. Be informed. Learn how at www.ready.gov. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Ozzy Osbourne. For many years, you know I've had a drink problem and I'm trying to battle that problem every single day. But one thing I don't drive my car when I'm drinking. I get someone to drive me. Do not drink and drive. It's the stupidest thing. If you drink, just don't drive. Not only are you going to hurt yourself, you may hurt some other person, and you wouldn't want that on your conscience, would you?
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Ranger Station, Ranger speaking.
Hi, I want to report a bear sighting.
Location?
My front door.
Oh, really? And did the bear knock or use the doorbell?
He used the doorbell. It was Smokey Bear.
Now we're getting somewhere.
Yeah, my husband was burning leaves in the yard. He just came inside for a second.
Not a good idea.
Smokey said the same thing. He said to never leave a fire unattended because it could lead to a wildfire.
Yeah, but if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave.
Smokey said that too.
We go way back. I knew him when he was just a cub.
Oh, how cute.
Rangers are many things, ma'am, but cute isn't one of them. Have a nice day. If you see someone in danger of starting a wildfire, step in and make a difference. Because 9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans. Brought to you by Smokey Bear, the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council. Learn more at smokeybear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi, I'm Drew Brees, NFL quarterback for the New Orleans Saints, here with Bugs Bunny to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you fuel your body and your mind.
So what do you like to throw around the football like Drew?
Skateboard, ride a bike, or dance in your room.
Just move it your way.
And be a player.
Get up and play an hour a day, Doc. Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
At letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
This is Angel, half of the Double Trouble Morning Team on Distant Thunder Radio, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Confessions of a Potentially Perfect Parent, brought to you by AdoptUsKids.org.
I know more about cooking dinner for a party of 12 than about packing a lunch for a 12-year-old. I know kids like things like fish sticks. Fillets, I get, but sticks? Maybe we can just compromise.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Bill Behrens, and you're watching, you're listening, you're experiencing Beyond Ringside. And you are a better person for it. Trust me.
Foreclosure is hard on every member of the family, but your family is not alone. If you're struggling with your mortgage, there is help. To learn about the government's Making Home Affordable program, visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE to speak to a HUD-approved housing counselor. It's free of charge. Visit makinghomeaffordable.gov or call 1-888-995-HOPE today. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, NeighborWorks America, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Joe Elliott from Def Leppard for RAD. Planning on going out and having a party? Great, have a lot of fun. But do me a big favour and don't blow it. Always choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives. You should too.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hello, this is Robin Zander.
Hello, this is Rick Nielsen from Cheap Trick for RAD.
Some people think it's fun to drive drunk, but that's unacceptable.
Be smart. If you drink,
don't drive.
Think ahead and choose a designated driver. Remember, music lives, and so should you.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling fans from around the world, I'm Lightning Mike Quackenbush, the master of 1,000 holds, and you're locked in for Beyond Ringside.
Citizens of America, this is a message from feedthepig.org. Americans spent more money than they earned in 2005. This is the first negative savings rate in the U.S. since the Great Depression. America, we must start feeding the pig. On the 1st and the 15th, we must pay ourselves before we pay anyone or anything. We must make a budget. Even consider cutting up a credit card. Log on to feedthepig.org today. Find the benefits of saving for every stage of life. Brought to you by the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Ad Council.
This is your boy, Miggity Mabo, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
There once was a boy wizard whose name was Larry Smarter.
Larry, why weren't you in Professor Dinky Doodle's mythical creature classification class?
Well, I'm taking Algebra 2 in a foreign language.
Oh, so you can talk to unicorns?
Not exactly, unless they're French.
Larry wanted to go to college, so he visited knowhowtogo.org to find the classes he really needed. Getting into college doesn't happen magically. Learn more at knowhowtogo.org.
Brought to you by the American Council on Education, Lumina Foundation for Education, and the Ad Council.
Hi, everybody. This is Jerry the King Lawler. That's right, the host of the #1 rated show in all of cable television, Monday Night Raw. That's right, Jerry the King Lawler, WWE Hall of Famer, Jerry the King Lawler, and I am locked into Beyond Ringside.
The music plays, the microphones go hot, and we are live on a gorgeous summer in October. I love that concept, Eddie. On a gorgeous Sunday night. This is your home for wrestling, mixed martial arts, boxing, sports talk, and a whole lot more. This is Beyond Ringside. Yours truly, the Magic City Motor Mouth, Fast Eddie Lane behind the control panel this evening. And ladies and gentlemen, we are being joined by an Olympic gold medalist. We are being joined by a boxing champion. We are being joined by a national champion. He is Merciless Ray Mercer. Mr. Mercer, welcome to Beyond Ringside, sir.
It's a pleasure being with you.
First off, I would like to thank you for taking the time out of your evening to come on board with us this evening. I would also like to thank Chico Sherwood, Rod Riccardi, Chris Cella, everybody over at findadream.org. I just say the name of the charity 2 or 3 times a day, and I still stutter my way through it, if that's any indication. Now, if I could, I want to go back for just a minute. I've got the timeline in play. A national championship, national amateur championship, and then moving into the Olympics in the very same year, 1988. Is there a point when you're first really getting the gears to where you're sitting back looking at everything going, is this really going in real time? Am I moving through this in slow motion, or is this going by faster than I think?
Yeah, of course it was. I had to pinch myself once I got over to the Olympics, but it's definitely, to me, it was like a process. It's the one-shot deal. I was working hard as I can to get in the best shape of my life. I was in the military station over in Baumholder, Germany, and representing the United States was the ultimate dream for me. And I just worked real hard, man, and just hoped everything, and I prayed. I just hoped that I would just make the Olympic team, and then I started praying for a gold medal, and everything just fell in place, man. I mean, it happened just the way you would dream it, and I was amazed once that happened. I mean, that's the highlight of my life, really.
Now, what originally drew you to prize fighting as not just a idea, but somewhere that you really wanted to go in the sports world?
Well, how I got into boxing is I was stationed over in Germany, and we had a field exercise, called Reforger. That's where everybody comes, they get some units come from the States, and we have war games, over in Germany. And, it's in the wintertime, and it was freezing and everything, so I was getting a motor pool, getting ready, with my unit to get ready to go out to that event. And we had a boxing coach that coached the post team, in our unit. So, I used to walk around the motor pool with my chest out and just talking noise to everybody. And, I was kind of big guy. And he just heard me talking trash to people one day, and he asked me if I would be a sparring partner, for his post champion. And I told him, when we get out of the field, I will do it. He said, if you say yes, then you won't have to go to the field. That means you won't have to be cold or whatever. You have 3 hot meals or whatever. and I had all that, but I was getting the crap beat out of me. I'd come back, to the barracks with a bloody nose, bloody lip, and but it was okay because I was warm and I was getting 3 hots in the car, and I didn't have to be out there sleeping in the snow. So, that's how I got started, and then I went 13 fights that year without losing. I mean, it was amazing to me.
And then everything kind of seemed to blossom from there, where you went into where you made it a full scale for the amateur side, and then made the move into the Olympics. And at what point coming out of the Olympics did you ever think about going back for it again, or did you automatically think that you really could make a living and decided to go pro?
Well, once you make the Americans, once they make the Olympic team, you very said we had one guy that I just knew of that was in this last Olympics. I forget his name, but he was one of the little guys, and that was his 3rd time, I think, being in the Olympics. I never heard of that before, and he's never won a fight in the Olympics, but he made it 3 times. But I myself and everybody else that I know, it was one-time shot. It's a one-time deal going to the Olympics, man. I mean, it takes toll on your body and everything, man. So the next thing is to turn pro, being in the United States, where dreams can come true. You had to go for it, and most of us went for it. So I never thought about going to the Olympics twice. I knew after the Olympics whether I'd won the gold or not that I was turning pro.
Now, being with the military, being with the Army, and first off, I would like to say thank you, sir, for your dedication and your service to your country. Greatly appreciated. From a citizen, I thank you very much for your sacrifice.
Thank you.
Having served in Germany, and then you go to Seoul, Korea in '88 for the Olympics, you're not as much under what would be considered a culture shock because you've already been off of domestic soil and in technically another country. You've gone international before going to Seoul. And so was there that much of a culture shock going from Germany to Seoul, or how was it for you?
Actually, it was easier for me because being stationed over in Germany and being able to fight with the Germans and, going to international fights, being stationed over in Europe, then, it was a little easier for me to learn a little style. So, I was like on my own turf a little bit because I know their style. That's why, I was so successful in knocking out everybody in the Olympics, man, because, I just know the European style and, the styles of different countries, and they're basically all the same. And once you experience fighting them guys, and, you become accustomed to it, man. It was easy for me when I got to Seoul.
And from there, you come on to the professional scene and you amass a great record, not to mention taking home the WBO heavyweight championship. And as a kid myself, and I get a chance to see some of the greats when I was, in single digit and double digit ages, early teens, and I look up to so many of these fighters. When you have that belt put around your waist, was it almost, did you almost have that moment where it's like a boyhood dream comes true?
It was definitely a dream come true. I mean, I was so happy, when that happened. Of course, I was losing that fight against Francisco Damiani in '91, but, it was the greatest feeling in the world to be a world champion. And once again, I had to actually pinch myself to see, if it was real, if I was in real time or whatnot. And turned out I was.
I got to ask on a little bit of a side note. Part of the bio that I've been able to do a little bit of homework on has you also out of the North Carolina area. So I have to ask, Tar Heel or Wolfpack?
Excuse me?
In the North Carolina area, part of the bio that I have on you has you out of North Carolina. So I have to ask, I know when you come to Alabama, even as a visitor, you have to declare either Alabama or Auburn, Roll Tide, War Eagle. Which way did you go? Tar Heel or Wolfpack?
Neither.
You stayed neutral. He is Australia.
Yeah, I stayed neutral. I mean, I wasn't born here or anything, and they had me fighting out of here because when I came here, I met my wife and ended up buying a house in '91, and we raised 4 kids here, so this is really home in that fashion. It was actually an accident how I got here in Fayetteville, North Carolina, because my trainer, Hank Johnson, who was in the military after the Olympics, who I was going to turn pro with, had 4 months left in the military. So I had to come here, and I was getting out. And I had to come here to train with him, for my fights, for 4 months until he got out. And then we moved to Jersey to train and fight out of Jersey. But I've been here ever since.
Now, let me ask, if I may, you made the statement that your trainer in the military was also your trainer as you started to go pro. And this is something that I like to put out there for kids, because they see the champions of today. They see the champions of previous days. And one thing that they don't really think about when they're first starting to think about boxing, unless they're really doing their homework, is the significant points to look for in a trainer. Now, if I ask you to lay out there something for the kids of today, when they're starting to think about boxing, when they're starting to think about prize fighting as more than just a hobby, and when they're looking for that trainer, what would you tell them to look for?
Well, first of all, I would tell them, to try to find somebody that you can get along with, and that you can pair off with, because you have to have a good trainer. And second of all, what you have to do is my trainer. Let me just tell you, my trainer. You can probably get the message out of this, but my trainer was like a second father to me. I mean, he not only in the ring and boxing, did he teach me the skills of boxing, but he also taught me, the skills of life. He's much older than me, and he's in the boxing game before me. But he didn't only teach boxing; he taught me things about life. And I think that's what you really have to have in a great trainer, somebody that really cares about you, and goes the way to teach you the way that he would teach his own kid, and he would look at you as his own kid, and treat you with respect and everything. You have to have that in a trainer, and that's what my trainer Hank Johnson had. He could tell me to do one thing, I wouldn't even question it. I would go in and I would just do it. And 9 times out of 10, I didn't get punished or get hit for doing what he told me to do. It actually came out to where, it worked out just the way he wanted it to work out. And, we just had that connection. So I knew that to be successful in the pros, that I had to have this guy to go with him. And that was Hank Johnson, with the triple threat. So that's what I was looking for. That's what made me go with my trainer. And I think that's what you have to have for these young kids out there. That's what you have to have, in order, to be a successful fighter, man. Because it's not only just learning the game, you have to learn about life, and, in order for everything to fit in, you have to learn about life and everything. So you need somebody to teach you everything, and not just one thing. I think that's the best thing to look for in a boxing trainer.
Now, you made a move, if I may, from prize fighting in and of itself over into kickboxing, as well as took up mixed martial arts. If I could be bold enough to inquire, what led you in those two directions?
Well, for one thing, Muhammad Ali has always been my idol. And, I remember when he was boxing, I was a kid, and he did that wrestling thing. He did more than just one thing. He did more than just box. And he fought a wrestler that was stepping on his feet, kicking at him and everything, and he beat him. And I just wanted to be that fighter, like all the kids out there, the people say that you're a boxer. I want to be more like an athlete, than classified as being able to be an athlete, could do a lot of things instead of just doing, just one thing. Because I always looked up to Bo Jackson when he was doing the football and the baseball. Deion Sanders, he was doing the football and the baseball. Those kind of people right there are the kind of people that I want to be like, that can go do anything that they want to do and try to be successful in it. And that's what led me to do, the K1 boxing and the kickboxing and the MMA. I did MMA because for that reason also, but my kids thought all them guys out there was beasts, and I knew I could beat some of them. And so I wanted my kid to call me a beast. So, that's when I fought a couple of times in MMA, and I ain't win one, but the other one I was a beast. So I'm happy.
And actually, one of the ones was when you took on Tim Sylvia, former UFC heavyweight champion, right?
Yeah, he was a big dude. Let me tell you, he's a great guy also. But he's one of those guys you have to knock out. You couldn't get grabbed by that guy. And I knew with those little 4-ounce gloves on that if I hit him, then he was gonna go. Because with those 4-ounce gloves on, I feel like as being a heavyweight that I can knock out a Mack truck. And that's exactly what he was like, a Mack truck. He was big.
So I can imagine now that, in my opinion, that would be classified more as a culture shock than anything else as far as the geographic region. Going from prize fighting to kickboxing and mixed martial arts, it's like you're used to having one set of rules in play for professional prize fighting, and then you come over to kickboxing where it expands a little bit more, and then you move into MMA where you've got this many more things that you can actually work with, and it's like, ooh, kid in a candy store almost, right?
Oh yeah. I can tell you one thing. With the kickboxing, I don't think I'll ever do that again, even in my dreams. Because here I am, here with I knew how to do everything, almost everything else, but kick. And that left me out there. And the guy Musashi, I fought the champion over in Japan, and he kicked me for it must have been like for 10 minutes in my legs, and I couldn't walk for 2 weeks after that. So I paid for that decision. But I'm still a tough guy. And I did another one after that, but it didn't go too far. I didn't get kicked in the legs. I got kicked in the head one time, and that was it. But I got a chance to experience, like you said, a different side, a different side of different sports. And to me, it was great, and I'm glad that I did it. And I wouldn't take anything back but those kickboxing. The kickboxing matches, I'll take back now because they hurt.
Now, speaking of moments, if I may. Everybody always asks for your favorite moment, or, if you could say this one moment in particular just jumps right out. I like to go a little bit deeper than that. And if there were 3 moments right off the top of your head that you could just take the visual memory out of your mind and either put it on television so you could watch it big screen, or just put it as a photograph on the wall, what would those moments be for you?
I think the first one would be being a national champion. That was a shock to me. To be number one in the whole country was just amazing. And the second one would be the Olympics. I'll just put them like in order, Olympics, because I was a world champion at being an amateur. That's the highest that you can go. That's the highest award that you can get. In amateur boxing. So I achieved that, and I'd have to say, besides my kids being born and me meeting my wife, being a professional would be like the third, or one of the things. I'm not going to put them in order, but they all up there to me. They're all up there on the same level, and those are the orders that I would put them. I would put them in that order: the amateurs, the Olympics, and professional. I mean, it went up the ranks, and that's. Those are the 3 things, the biggest things in my life right there.
Yeah.
Because, being my kids being born, and, we meet my wife and everything.
We talk about dreams, goals, and aspirations. And in this day and time, it's so much more. I mean, I'm 46 years of age. And I remember when I was a kid, single digit ages going up into the early teens. And I look at the world we live in now, and it's so much crazier, it's so much more hectic, and there's so much more pressure on kids in so many different directions, whether it be from school, whether it be peer pressure, whether it be from their regular friends, much less, trying to drag them off into certain other areas. And with so many bad decisions that can be made in this day and time, you are on the board of an organization called findadream.org. And this is an organization that sets in motion to help build establishments and set up programs to give kids a viable alternative to just doing stuff out on the streets and on the playgrounds in different areas. You try to get them in. Find a Dream tries to get the kids into these programs to where they can improve their bodies, they can improve their minds, and they can actually find that dream that drives them in the world of athletics. Whether it be, I know that Dan Severn has been with us before. He's been a part of Find a Dream. Mr. McGirt has been on with us before, and he's also part of the group from part of the team from Find a Dream. We've spoken with Chris Cheller, Rod Riccardi. I've had some great conversations with Chico Sherwood. And for you, Ray Mercer, going through everything that you've gone through, coming through everything, all the accolades, all the hard work and the dedication, to put yourself on the board of an organization like Find a Dream, when they approached you and laid out the game plan of what they wanted to do and how they wanted to do it, what was going through your mind?
I knew right from the start that I wanted to be a part of this organization, because Although, you know, I was in the military, I had it kind of easy, you know, because I had all the facilities there. You know, the military, they really take care of you. You have kids out there that don't have those things and those means of transportation, getting back and forth to where you got to go and everything. So when I first heard it, I just knew that it was something that I wanted to do, because it's like me giving back and trying to help kids that have, like you said, have a dream, and we can actually help them achieve their goals and their dreams. So that's what got me about Find a Dream. And you know, Rod Ricardi, I met him. He's a great guy. He's the founder and the president of Find a Dream, and you know, he's a great guy. He cares about kids. He has kids. He goes through ringers for the kids, and I just knew I had to be a part of that. And they got, you know, Buddy McGirt, Bobby Chairs, Michael Moore. We got me. We got Chico Sherwood. You know, we got a great organization, and I think it's going to help if we can turn around at least one or two kids. Everything will be worth it, man. And what we need is we just need people to help. You know, donate. You know, all you have to do, you go to the website www.findadream.org. You know, you make your donations. They're tax free. And you'll be doing a great service to the kids, man. And, you know, maybe your own. I mean, it's just a great organization, man. I wish we need people to come together to make this thing work and continue what's going on now, you know, the functions and everything. 'Cause we have kids now that are benefiting from this, and we just want to keep everything going, and we want to get more kids. We're going to build gyms. We're going to have, we're going to be mentors. I mean, me, Bobby Chairs, Buddy McGirt, Michael Moore. We are all looking forward to working with all the kids. So, you know, we're going to make this, it is a big thing, and we just want a lot of people to be part of it and help out so we can keep it going, man, because it's a great thing for kids.
And I'd also like to say thank you to the folks over at Find a Dream, because you're making a reference to former 3-time boxing champion Bobby Ches, who has been on Beyond Ringside on previous days, Hector Camacho Jr., who has also joined us here on Beyond Ringside, and some great interviews. And I would like to once again thank you for taking the time to come on now. Folks, for those who have not had a chance to find out, as Mr. Mercer just said, the website itself is located at findadream.org. You've got a chance to definitely check out a little bit more about what their mission statement is. They're doing some great things, and they have goals of expanding and building that much more. Because as I was saying a few minutes ago, in this day and time, regardless of where you are, it can be in North Carolina, it can be in California, it can be down here in Birmingham, Alabama, or up in the northeastern United States. You know, pick a state. You have opportunities. And some of the kids today don't always get those opportunities, but they have dreams, they have goals, they have something that they want to do with their life. And they may not always be able to find the right direction to go in, or they might not be able to find the right contact. And if you've got kids who want to do something a little bit different in their life, like I say, we've had some great representatives and ambassadors from the world of professional prize fighting. And I am very happy to know that the world of prize fighting is still very much alive and well. And matter of fact, before I go any further, there is something I want to ask you about on a little bit of a separate subject, and I was going to wait, but I really want to ask now.
Yeah.
Can you give me any kind of, I've heard the rumors about 2013 about Merciless Ray Mercer maybe stepping back into the ring one more time?
Evander Holyfield will be my opponent over in South Africa on the 2nd of March. It's definitely a possibility. I mean, there's been no contract signed yet, but we've been in touch. We've been emailing my agent Chico. He's been emailing back and forth, and they assure us that that's going to happen. I mean, I really didn't want to fight again, but it's a 4-round exhibition, and it's the card is for like Mandela. So for me it'll be an honor, and I will be stepping back in if everything happens or if it comes off like it's supposed to, which I hope it does. And that way we can help Find a Dream again too, with that, so I'll give everything to Find a Dream, because it's to help kids, and it'd be the only reasons that I would do it too, because I'm part of this organization and we can get the word out there about Find a Dream. That's one of the only reasons that I would do it. And I'm just hoping it comes through.
Personally, I really am too, because when I first heard the rumors about this, it's scheduled for, you said March 2013. It's going to be in South Africa as part of the Nelson Mandela tribute. And a tremendous opportunity, tremendous situation, and believe me, I would love to be able to hear about this coming to fruition. So I'll ask you, just like I'll ask Chico, when everything is said and done, and if all the paperwork is signed, please let us know. We'll be more than happy to help you get the word out about it.
Beyond Ringside will be the first to know.
Thank you, sir.
We'll be the first to know.
Thank you, sir. Now, I know that you're a little bit on time constraints, so I would like to go ahead and ask. And it's kind of like in the world's better. There's one that I want to ask. In the world of mixed martial arts and in the world of professional prize fighting, there's always a lot of scrutiny. The public eye is always open. And you've got situations in the world of prize fighting where a lot of people are talking about, the fight, what they would want to call the fight of the century. Do you think that particular fight would actually ever take place, or do you think it's more fun just talking about the hyperbole of those two actually getting in the ring? Pacquiao Mayweather, I'll just say it.
Yeah. Do I think that they would ever fight?
Do you think? Go ahead.
I don't really know. It'll be a great event for boxing if that did happen, and I'm wishing and hoping that it does happen, and I think if it does, I think Mayweather will win the fight. I think he'd make it. It wouldn't be an easy fight, but I think that he would pull it out, and I'm hoping that the fight happens. I like Pacquiao. He's a real warrior, and if I was anybody, I wouldn't want to fight the guy because he throws too many punches. But I think Mayweather, being small and fast, can handle that. So I'm hoping that it does come off, and it'll be like a plus to the boxing world. And we need a fight like that to come back. Because boxing's been on the brink for a little bit. They don't have fights like they used to have. Back in my early days and before me, it definitely changed. So I think this will be a great thing to bring boxing back just a little bit because, MMA is popular and, them guys are in shape. It takes a lot to get in shape for an MMA fight. For all you guys out there that want to do MMA, let me tell you, you better be ready mentally and physically for that because it's really, really tough. I think boxing is an easier sport because you don't have to worry about, anything but just getting hit with your hands. But in MMA, you're getting hit from every direction, son. And it's a hard life, believe me. You can definitely go farther in boxing. And, to me, MMA, you get in there, it's like a street fight. You get in there, you fighting, you can do anything, you street fight, But boxing it takes skills. And boxing is an art. And that's the only difference about, MMA and boxing. And, I always be a boxing fan. I always love boxing because that's how I came up. But I got a lot of respect for those guys who doing K1 and doing MMA. I got big ups to those guys. And I just want them to know that.
Now, there's also one other part to this. Over in the world of mixed martial arts, for a long time, a lot of people, for the last couple of years at least, a lot of people have considered the notion of Anderson Silva and George St. Pierre to be a possible super fight. Two people that have been called pound for pound, two of the greatest champions that MMA has right now. Do you think that it would be beneficial for these two to actually fight? No gold on the line, none of the championships on the line. One of them goes up and either they meet. In a perfect world, they meet in the middle as far as the weight classes go.
Yeah.
And one doesn't try to go up and one doesn't try to go down. If they meet in the middle, how big do you think that would be MMA's super fight of the modern era or this current era?
I think it will, and I'll be the first one in line to buy my ticket.
I'll be standing right beside you on that one.
Yeah, we'll be right there. I'll be the first one. I think it'll be a great event for the sport and just for fans like me to just want to see that, man, because those are two amazing guys, and I'm telling you, it would be a war, and I'd want to be front row.
Tell you what, you buy the sodas, I'll buy the nachos.
All right, we got a deal.
You got a deal on that one.
Yeah.
Mr. Mercer, thank you again for being so generous with your time, and I'd like to offer you an opportunity. If there's a closing statement that you would like to make, whether it be about Find a Dream, whether it be about your personal life, something that you'd like to lay out there for everybody, sir, the floor is yours.
Okay, for one thing, I'd like to say, if you want me to do a certain event, it don't have to be a big event or whatever. You want to talk to me or whatever, I'm gonna give you or have information about Find a Dream. I'm getting ready to give you my agent and also a board member of Find a Dreams. It's Chico Sherwood at hotmail.com. That's one way that you can get a hold of me. You can get a hold of Chico Sherwood. You can get a hold of anybody on the board if you can contact this guy right here about, Find a Dream or anything. So I just wanted to just put that out there. So, the show's going to be over, but the event and the reason can still go on.
And once again, I'd like to say thank you to Chico Sherwood, Chris Cella, Rod Riccardi, everybody with Find a Dream for helping to set up this interview this evening. It has been tremendous. Do you have any other personal appearances coming up in the near future that you'd like to put the word out about?
Well, we're going to England tomorrow, matter of fact, for 10 days. Me and Chico Sherwood, we're going over there. We have 3 events we're going to be doing, signing autographs, making appearances. And, that's actually going to be a fun trip. We're getting paid to do something that's going to be great. We go over there and we're advertising Find a Dream, and hope we get some people to get involved with Find a Dream over there. So it's going to be a great event, for Find a Dream.
Looking forward to hearing about it. And the door is definitely always open. We would love to have you come back on sometime, Mr. Mercer.
Anytime.
Ladies and gentlemen, Olympic gold medalist, world boxing champion, merciless Ray Mercer has just gone beyond ringside. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back on the live edition of the Beyond Ringside Radio Network. Let me find this little button right over here. Right after this.
A woman reached out. A man stepped up. Somebody sat down with 16-year-old Stephen and taught him better study habits, and suddenly, toughing it out till graduation seemed to Stephen a pretty good idea. We're realizing the way we live our lives can impact the way others live theirs, their education, their income, their health. We're not just wearing the shirt, we're living it. Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is Vengeance David Fuller, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi, this is John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting, here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody's business. So please, plan ahead, designate before you celebrate. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
And this is Kenny Kip Kennedy, master of Kenny's Kempo Karate, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Smells good.
Well, look who came out of his man cave.
Just checking on you and dinner.
Well, your stomach clock is fast. Gonna be a while. Well, why don't you...
You okay?
Oh,
honey!
2 out of 3 people with diabetes die of a heart attack or stroke. But you can lower the risk. Ask your healthcare provider how. For more info, go to diabetesactnow.org. Brought to you by the American Diabetes Association and the Ad Council.
This is the bee's knees, the cat's pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hey, how you doing? This is Joe Walsh. I'm speaking on behalf of RAD. It's okay to rock and roll, right? But don't drive home drunk. If you're drunk, call me up. I have a limo. I'll come and get you.
Sleep all day, out all night. I know where you're going. I don't think that's
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Voodoo Lily with Birmingham's Tragic City Rollers, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
When planning your next party or special event, insist on the best
Full Range Entertainment is a professional entertainment company providing a full range of services. From professional disc jockeys and MCs to catering and photography, when the details of your special day must be perfect, call us first. Wedding receptions, corporate parties, school functions, birthday celebrations, and more. We also have Birmingham's largest selection of karaoke tracks available. With over 40 years combined experience, Full Range Entertainment can provide you with the talent and professionalism you need and deserve to make your next event one you'll never forget. For more information on the full range of services we offer, call 533-HITS. That's 533-HITS. Or check us out on our website at fullrangeentertainment.com.
Hi, NBA forward Kevin Durant from the Oklahoma City Thunder, here with Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck to remind you to get moving every day.
Because when you get moving an hour a day,
you'll have more energy to do the things you like to do.
And that's a slam dunk.
Whether you like to shoot hoops like me, skateboard, ride a bike,
or dance on your roof,
be a player.
Get up, play, and move it your way.
Head online to get tips on great ways to get moving every day.
Check out how to be a player at letsmove.gov. A message from the Ad Council and HHS.
Oh, yes, this is Paul Bear, and some people call me Percy Pringle III. You're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Let me drive.
How do you know when it's time to give up the keys? When your dog grabs your keys from your lap and your lap is on the floor. Yep, it's Jeff Foxworthy for RAD saying, when you party, be sure to designate before you celebrate.
If you want to make it home alive, let me drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Please don't drink and drive. It's not funny.
This is the Bee's Knees, the Cat's Pajamas, and the whole shebang. Johnny Gargano, you're locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi, I'm Ryan Seacrest for RAD. Over 300 people in this country are killed every week by a drunk driver. That's the equivalent of 2 747 plane crashes every single week. And the problem isn't going away unless we all do our part to stop it. So if you see someone who's about to drive after drinking, get the keys. Don't leave it up to anyone else. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
A public service announcement brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
It's me. It's that D to the O to the double G. Always sitting next year near Doggy Style, the road dog Jesse James, and you're locked in to Beyond Ringside. Get it? Got it? Good.
Hi, this is Jamie McMurray here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Want to make a difference? It's simple. Be responsible. Plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Friends don't let friends drive drunk.
Yes, I'm gonna be a star.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Move Time Radio, presented by the Arthritis Foundation. Ah, that's a good one. Get up and dance, baby. If you're driving, pull over to the shoulder. If you're at work, yeah, time to violate the employee handbook. See, movement is just one of the ways to help fight osteoarthritis pain. Another is weight loss. You get rid of just 1 pound, that's 4 pounds of pressure off each knee. For more information on managing pain, visit fightarthritispain.org, baby. This message is brought to you by the Arthritis Foundation and the Ad Council.
This is Jacoby Boykins, a.k.a. the Alabama Ambassador, Mr. 256, and you are locked in to Beyond Ringside.
Hi there, this is Sammy Hagar here for RAD, the entertainment industry's voice for road safety. Now, style's a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, it becomes everybody else's business. Please, plan ahead. Designate before you celebrate. Because friends do not let friends drive drunk.
A public service message brought to you by RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Aloha, this is Tracy Taylor, all the way from Honolulu, Hawaii, the island girl, and you're locked into Beyond Ringside.
Nancy O'Dell here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving. You know, style is a personal thing, and your lifestyle is your business. But if you take it on the road, then it becomes everybody's business. So please plan ahead, call a cab, or designate a driver before the party starts. Friends, don't let friends drive drunk.
Baby, you can drive my right car.
A public service message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
This has been a stellar night, and I have loved every minute of it, and it keeps getting better. Welcome back in to the Sunday night tradition. This is Beyond Ringside, live from the Vault in the Full Range Entertainment Studios in beautiful Birmingham, Alabama. Fast Eddie Lane on this side of the control panel. Mark Mabo Bowman, come on back in.
What's up? And guess what, Eddie? I've reached out and brought in probably the best guest we've ever had in the last 2 minutes. Take it away.
Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you know him. Do we use the shoot name now, or do we still use CMD, dude?
No, we still use the
okay, one. Ladies and gentlemen, a lot of you know him as the maestro of the flip-flop chop, affectionately known as Cabana Man Dan. Come on in, buddy.
Hey, how's it going, guys? Just wanted to come in and, just promote and, praise the Chikara Deep Freeze event that happened last night in Piedmont, Alabama. It was a blast, top to bottom, and I got to sit next to my buddy Mabo the whole night and embarrass Christian Haim, who was sitting in front of me.
Isn't it fun when you get a chance to do that?
Yes, because I kept starting chants. Which is always fun. But yeah, the show was fantastic. A few of the matches that really stuck out was Grand Akuma versus the Shard was probably the hardest hitting as far as kicks, stiffness, and just really big moves. The main event went long. It felt like it at least went 20, 25 minutes. Mr. Touchdown versus Green Ant. It was back and forth. And I believe Honey Boo Boo's mama was there, or it was just some other fat lady who kept being very vulgar at a Chikara show, which was not very cool. She got the chance sit down mama, so that was always good. And it was great. We got to go and film some stuff real brief. Me and Mabo hung out with Ultramanus Black and Dasher Hatfield and Sugar Duncan and Tim Daunt. This will be posted on Facebook and Twitter, and I'll make sure to tag Beyond Ringside on that too, because that was somewhat of a collaboration. Good job, Mabo.
Well, thank you, sir. And now, we both agreed that and also you got to admit the comedy spots that were during the Mysterious and Handsome Stranger, I believe it was the Deviant. That was hilarious. The whole Scooby-Doo thing. Oh yeah, that was very good. The arena that they were wrestling at, has 3 different locker rooms doors. They were doing the whole Scooby-Doo thing where they'd run into different locker rooms and come out the other doors. And then Deviant was outside of one of the locker room doors. And, the Mysterious and Handsome Stranger had some Inspector Gadget arms and pulled him from one locker room door to the next, which was super fantastic. And lots of fun stuff in the Los Ice Cream Spectral Envoy match, which saw Ultramanus Black and Howard win the match to get 3 points to compete for their tag team titles that I cannot pronounce.
Los
Campeonatos de Parejas. The Campeonatos de Parejas.
Yes, that is correct, sir. That was great, and it was fun being the few fans that were cheering for Los Ice Creams. So thank you.
And the one child that was.
Oh my gosh! I think that had to be El Hijo del Ice Cream because he's a little bit more creepy. He kept going in this fan's face over and over again throughout the match, but it was fantastic. They lost the match, and he went back to that fan, and the fan scared him, and he ran off. So that was a good callback. Very clever stuff. Other matches saw the Batiri defeat Fist with Icarus, Chuck Taylor, and Sugar. That was pretty fun. Sugar actually went a little Gangnam Style at the end, so that was pretty fun. I enjoyed that. What did you like, Mabo? Unless you already said it, then I don't want you to repeat yourself.
Well, it's very rare that I ever get to talk on this show anyway, so I'm going to take the opportunity.
Go ahead.
But it was great. I came in, towards the end of the Fist, Sugar, Ophidian, Batiri match.
Oh, you missed the opening contest.
Yes, but that's okay. I heard we've discussed that. Anyway, now I came in during something, and it kind of, created a quandary with me, and you had to fill me in. What was with all this match is scheduled for one fall and contains,
comedy. Okay, well, upstairs in the locker room, there's lots of stuff that probably came out of an old movie gallery or a Hollywood video. There's little placards with different sections or genres of a video store, and they took them down. There was this match is scheduled for one fall, and he lifted up a sign that said science fiction, and I believe that was the Frightmare and Cobalt match, which I think that one was kind of a meh. But from what I heard, I think Frightmare ended up with a concussion early on in the match, and that really they had to take him to the Jacksonville Medical Center. So hopefully he's going to have a speedy recovery, Frightmare. And that's the story of the placards.
Yeah, it was. I mean, overall, how would you say Chikara was received here in the Dirty Dirty?
I think a lot of people came that were already Chikara fans. They were there before the doors opened, besides you. But as far as I think they were very well received. I do know that arena is small, intimate, but it was really hard to move. It would be really hard to move around. If you had maybe 5 more people, it would have been standing room only, which is also good. I think they had a fantastic crowd, and they were very receptive of what was going on, and most of the people got it. And it was really a fun time from the opening song that you missed all the way to the end. And I do have to give heavy props. What a great idea! They had all of the most of the Chikara wrestlers outside the exit. As soon as fans left the arena, they got to shake the hands of all the wrestlers before walking to their car and, get thanked one more time for coming. And, the guys, Mike Quackenbush, all the ants, they're very, very appreciative of the crowd that came out to Piedmont, as I was too.
See, allow me to say it like this, and I said this during the opening segment. I'm thankful, and this is from the heart. This is a shoot. I mean, I worked with Mike Quackenbush a number of years ago at a show for GCW at the Pelham Civic Complex in Pelham, Alabama. Gee, what a surprise. Pelham's in Pelham. And Quackenbush impressed me from that day as being a knowledgeable person, a creative person, a down-to-earth person, and an out-there person, all in the same breath. Mm-hmm. And for him to be the founding father of Chikara, I knew that Chikara was going to do well, because I knew that Quack had a very innovative mind, a very creative mind, and he surrounded himself with the right people. And to watch Chikara blossom and grow, I hoped that there would be a day and they came close, and they finally made it to my home state of Alabama, for which I'm eternally thankful. And let me clarify this one more time. To the people that brought Chikara in to the state of Alabama, I thank you for that. Let there be no doubt, because it is a break from the norm in traditional Southern style professional wrestling, and I do believe that variety is genuinely the spice of life. People should, if they want to call themselves real wrestling fans, should take the opportunity and go experience something different. And believe me, Chikara would be a great experience for somebody who's looking a little bit outside the box, because a lot of what they do is outside of that traditional box. In the southeastern United States, traditional Southern wrestling will thrive. It will continue to grow. Properly promoted, run, all of the above. But by the same token, organizations like Chikara also have the opportunity to grow and to flourish, because they take you to a different side of your imagination in professional wrestling. And that's something that I have appreciated ever since I was first really introduced to Chikara. And Mabo, thank you again for the loan of the DVDs a while back. Believe it or not, I still watch them every once in a while. I've still got them sitting right beside my DVD player, right in my living room.
You haven't given them back yet? That's not nice.
He's been here 3 times. He keeps forgetting to ask for them, and I keep forgetting to tell him they're still here.
Don't think I don't scan the room looking for them. I just never see them.
They're right beside my DVD player.
I always end up looking at something else, like the CMD. Are you ready for this? Do you know what this man has? He has an original VHS copy of the first War Games.
Wow, who doesn't?
Great American Bash 1987.
Nice.
I don't have one. But I want to ask you 3 things, CMD, and if you're finished. If you're not, please finish.
Short version is, but once again, to those who did, for those who were responsible for bringing Chikara to my home state of Alabama, thank you. I do appreciate it. I wish I could have been there. Certain circumstances different. I would have been there. But
when the DVD comes out, you can purchase it at smartmarkvideo.com.
And I plan to. I will support Chikara in that particular regard as well. I have in the past.
Hey.
Mabel, go ahead.
Now, CMD, 3 things. 1, do you think, I mean, obviously not in this calendar year, but do you think sometime, if we make it past the Mayan apocalypse or, whatever the Batiri rained upon us on December 21st, 2012, do you think that we will see a return of Chikara to Alabama in 2013?
You know what? I think that the crowd was there. They sold the tickets. If the DVD does well, I would say yes, and I would even think they would return to the same arena.
Well, see, that kind of leads me to my second question is, yes, that is sort of, that would be the ideal place to return, to what really filled it up. But do you think maybe if they could find a little bit larger arena, not necessarily like Boutwell, that would be, a little insane, but maybe, a
Pelham Civic Complex.
Like a complex, like a Pell City or a Childersburg, something along the lines of a what do they call them things, Eddie?
Civic Center?
Not really Civic Center, but a rec center.
Yeah.
Where it's a little bit bigger. Do you think maybe that they would benefit to looking to a little bit bigger arena? CMD?
I think we lost him for a minute.
Oh, no.
Darn, and I was just about to ask him about BevNerd.
Well, I mean, obviously, you know what? When he comes back, we'll take it to, shameless promotion, and if he comes back.
If he does. But the Reader's Digest condensed cut. I hope that everybody who made it to the show last night had a good time. It sounds like it was extremely entertaining. I wish I could have been there. But by the same token, I had a great time last night at the Miranda Lambert concert because I was less than 5 feet away from her skirt line. So,
You know what? I just realized we haven't talked about anything that's happened on the majors. Which, by the way, dude, have you noticed now it's literally Monday nights, Wednesday nights with main event with Ion, which I forgot to... Dude, then you got Thursday nights with Impact, Friday nights with SmackDown, Saturday morning Slam Masters, and then Ring of Honor's covered Saturday and Sunday. So literally the only night there's no wrestling is Tuesdays.
Okay. Oh, which reminds me, don't forget, Ring of Honor has a pay-per-view coming up this coming Saturday night. Matter of fact, let me swing around to the legendary monitor for it and bring this up real quick.
And while he's doing that, I will touch on the fact that everybody is saying, if you want to see something really good, if WWE is your cup of tea, that honestly, all the words I'm getting from the main event, it's called Main Event. It's on Ion, and they say it's good. I mean, it's actually wrestling. There's very little storyline based driven matches, and then Saturday morning Slam Masters, they said it's been a hoot because it's maybe 1 or 2 matches. But mostly it's them, to steal your line, Eddie, stepping out of the box because, they're tailoring more to kids, so you've got more interaction with the superstars, than the kids, and it's definitely getting more family friendly. So I encourage, everybody, check those out if you get a chance to support them because, this is WWE stepping outside the box, so check it out.
Hey,
Wyatt. Hey, and he's back.
Hey, sorry, my phone died, so I borrowed my watch. Where were we?
Oh, do you think Chikara could benefit? Do you think they would try to go for maybe a little bit larger arena?
If they don't have to. If they don't have to go to a larger arena, they won't. But if they do, they will. What?
And
my kid's puking or something.
Your kid's puking? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Anyways,
and then real quick, the last question: Who on the roster that wasn't there would you have liked to have seen?
Let's see. Mike Quackenbush.
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah. I know he was there, handling the show and making sure that it started and ended, and was totally fantastic from start to finish. But it would have been awesome to see Mike Quackenbush in a match. That would have been my number one.
See, here's a funny one for me, because the show that I was telling you about that I worked with Quack years ago, it was he and Reckless Youth. And
oh, yeah.
Those two tore the house down, plain and simple, because they were using a style that a lot of people in the metro area really weren't that used to, and they just had the entire audience captivated, and that was a roller coaster ride that everybody enjoyed. So anytime you get an opportunity to catch Quackenbush in the ring, and especially if he's working, high caliber opponent, you know it's going to be a great match.
Oh, yeah.
Mabo, you had a third question real quick.
That was the third question.
Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, I slept.
I mean, I personally, I would have liked to, everybody I wanted to see was there. Maybe got to see King of Diamonds, the Last of Dying Breed, Eddie Kingston.
Yeah,
we got to see him one more time. I always enjoy his work, but overall, I think it was a phenomenal show, and Saturnine has an amazing
come back.
ass.
Please come back.
Yes, and Saturnine's ass is amazing.
Yeah, it was like intergalactic amazing.
Oh, it's no CMD ass, but still.
Yeah, you did mention that, and that got me to frown you a little bit.
Oh, but you know you love it when I talk about your ass. Not really.
Speaking of topics that don't really get discussed that often on this show, other than in shameless plugs, wanted to ask you real quick on a separate topic. How are things going over at BevNerd?
Things are going pretty well. We've launched our craft beer show called J-Bev vs. Craft Beer. You can view it at bevnerd.com, along with my show, BevNerd Podcast, where I review soft drinks and snack foods. And we're looking at launching a third show called What's Happening Here, which is more of a local businessy type show where we go in and sample, the local restaurants and local scene, bars, things like that. And that'll be launching sometime this year or early 2013.
I tell you something.
So we'll probably be in your neck of the woods doing some work in Birmingham, probably soon too.
I tell you what, one place, if you like good old-fashioned cooking, so to speak, if you like a Philly steak, if you like a good melt, there is a place in Birmingham that I really want you to check out. Seriously, if you're going to do something on the food side for businesses, check out Salem's Diner. It's over in Homewood. I had a chance to talk to the owner and a lot of the staff there when I went in there a few weeks ago. Dude, they genuinely have one of the better Philly steak sandwiches that I've found in the Southeast in quite a while. And for those who know me, okay, medical condition or not, I am still on my search for the best Philly steak in the city of Birmingham and around the state of Alabama. So, real quick, for those who would like to kick in their name into the hat, go to facebook.com/FastEddieLane and link to the restaurant, or put the name of the restaurant in the city. So I will definitely, but like I said, one of the better ones. And I'm a fan of Jersey Mike's Big Kahuna. And
oh yeah.
I mean, that's a good sandwich. And to me, even though it's a smaller sandwich, Salem's Philly steak was actually better than Jersey Mike's, in my opinion. It really was. So, like I say, if you want to, that's just dropping a name or an idea, not necessarily a shameless plug for Wayne and everybody over there. But if there's a place that you want to check out in that particular regard, definitely look them up. What are some of the ones that you've done recently? Some of the different reviews.
Let's see. We were at Slice, and that's a fantastic pizza place where they use only local ingredients to make their pizzas. A lot of them are all natural. And as far as their beer on tap, they only use Alabama craft beer. Super fantastic place. Really off the wall pizzas. Like the Low Country Boil is pretty much like a seafood boil from Louisiana put on a pizza. Super fantastic. And also, I would also recommend J. Clyde. Fantastic pub with good food and a top-notch beer selection.
I'm very familiar with the J. Clyde. I've actually got some friends who work over there, and it's always great to be able to go in there and say hi. Real quick, tell you what, I don't know if you've done this one recently or at all, because I haven't had a chance to go through all the archives. Which mass-produced root beer is the best?
Which mass-produced root beer is the best? Could you define that?
Okay.
Because you're going on another level of nerddom with me, and root beer is a very fine soda, and I need to know. Are we talking you can find at Walmart or you can find at Whole Foods?
all the way across the board. I mean, it looks like you've got Mug, A&W. I miss the company called Dad's Root Beer that was really big in the 70s and the 80s. I see them every once in a while. To me, that was the best one. Out of the mass-produced right now, I think I would still take Barks first, Mug second.
Whoa.
Huh? Well, to me, Barks has a little bit more of a bite. It really does. And
You think that because they tell you that.
No, I think that because I drank all three of them. I've drank Mug, I've drank A&W.
The only caffeinated root beer that I know of, as far as if I'm just going to get one off the shelves, it'll probably be an A&W. But if I want a true root beer experience, I will go for a Virgil's root beer. It's a micro-brewed root beer you can find at stores like Whole Foods, Fresh Market. Super fantastic. Every sip that you take of that root beer is a different flavor, and it's super awesome.
Really? And what's it called again?
Virgil's, like Ted DiBiase's manservant.
Oh, okay. And it's available in Central Alabama.
He got out of wrestling and decided to make root beer.
No, he got out of wrestling and went to trade shows and didn't get anybody to sign autographs. But yeah, and if you're into like stuff like that, definitely check out a soda called Moxie. It's one of the very first mass-produced sodas since 1884. You can find that at Fresh Market too. It's super awesome. No, it was Fresh Market.
I don't have one of those in my neck of the woods. So where would I find Fresh Market?
What? Wait, there's one on 280.
Really?
Yeah, there's one right. It's right down for me, Eddie.
Okay, I'm kind of like kryptonite to 280. So.
Oh yeah, everyone should always try to avoid 280.
Hey.
No, only because traffic sucks out there, Mark.
Oh, okay. I was about to say.
Why you called him a Mark?
I just used his first name.
Oh, his first name's not Mabo?
Yes, the illusion has been broken. But I'll make you a deal, Eddie. If you pay me back the next time I make it up to the studios, I will run down there and see if they have Virgil's and Moxie, and
yes.
I will bring some and we will drink them on the air. We will get root beer wasted.
Sounds like a plan to me. And somehow or another, Audacity just decided to play unfair. Okay, sorry, one of the programs that I use to archive everything just decided to crash. Fortunately, I have 3 other backups running.
And the show is lost.
Nope, it's not lost. Like I said, I've got 3 other backups working right now. And not to mention, Ustream might actually be working this time. But seriously, we're looking at 7 minutes after the top of the hour. I want to remind everybody that Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio is broadcast live here on BeyondRingside.com and through the Beyond Ringside Radio Network at 9 o'clock p.m. Central, 10 o'clock Eastern, as we are getting ready to go ahead and take it directly over into Last Call. Mabo, Mark Bowman, Last Call.
Don't really have a last call. Had a tremendous time at Chikara last night, and that's really it. Because basically, I'm just hungry and ready to go eat. So
understand the concept.
I'm foregoing any last calls. It was great to sit next to CMD, hang out with him, as his baby agrees with me, or disagrees. She sounds like she more disagrees. She's like, no, I don't want this. Hey, scary man with a beard holding me. It was a great time. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, check out Saturday Morning Slam Masters, or whatever it's called.
That's a video game.
Wait, what? Not Saturday Night Slam Masters.
Oh, it's a prequel.
Yeah.
There you go.
But it's the WWE's new morning show and main event on Ion. I was impressed more than with that than anything they put out this, Monday or Friday, and anything definitely more than what Impact put out. So check that out. I mean, I guess when you really try to, I'm not going to say dumb it down, but when you simplify things, sometimes it's better. Just saying.
Keep it simple, stupid.
To who am I throwing to?
Throw to CMD.
Yeah. I'll make it real quick because I'm going to change a dirty butt.
Okay, well, then we'll throw it, instead of last call, we're going to pull it Los Ice Cream style and touch CMD. Shameless plugs.
That was awesome. Check me out at www.bevnerd.com. We have a show that we do there. We're going to be posting some interviews with Dasher Hatfield, Ultraman is Black, pretty soon with Mabo's face somewhere in there. Follow me on Twitter at BevNerd. Subscribe to us on YouTube. all that fun stuff. All the links are at bevnerd.com. That's pretty much all I got.
Appreciate you, man. Anytime, and you should know by now the door is always open.
Awesome. Well, thank you, guys, and I'm going to go, and I'll listen to this later. Bye. Evie says bye. Oh, no.
Peace. We'll see you soon, my friend.
Bye.
Bye. Want to remind everybody that Ring of Honor, of course, has their iPay-per-view coming up this coming Saturday. World Championship will be on the line. Kevin Steen, or whoever's champion at the time, will be defending against unbreakable Michael Elgin. ROH.
We know it's going to be Kevin Steen.
Yeah, we know.
You can't stop wrestling's nightmare.
Nope. Wrestling's greatest nightmare. Or something. No, pro wrestling's nightmare. Yeah, you got it right the first time. Hell with it.
I know I got it right because I was sitting there watching it.
There you go. ROH World Tag Team Championship will be on the line. Jimmy Jacobs and Steve Corino taking on the Briscoes. That should be the match of the night. I don't care who says what. Kevin Steen.
Are they in a cage for this one?
I don't. It's not listed.
Okay.
And
what does Scum stand for, by the way? Do you know?
I don't remember.
I mean, we got what? I don't even know what Steve Corino understands math.
Sounds like a plan to me. ROH World TV Championship will be on the line. Adam Cole defending against diehard Eddie Edwards should be an excellent match. Grudge match, No Fear, Mike Mondo versus the Prodigy Mike Bennett with Maria Kanellis. Maria should be seen and not heard. I'm sorry, love her to death, but plain and simple, it's just she oversells the facial expressions. Yes, that's why I put the word expressions at the end of that, because I knew straight where Mabo was going to go. But all the other crap aside, Mondo Bennett should be a solid match. Jay Lethal versus Davey Richards.
Ooh.
Yeah, that should be fun to watch. Also in a special challenge match, Roderick Strong will be taking on Tadarius Thomas. Had a chance to watch Thomas in the ring this past Saturday or last night on ROH TV. Now, I've got to say this. There's some question marks about ROH right now. And I like Kevin Kelly, don't get me wrong, and I really like any other time I could say the name right off the
Nigel McGuinness.
Thank you. I was trying to say, I couldn't remember McGuinness to save my life, but I knew Nigel. And Nigel is tremendous on commentary. To me, there are times when Kevin Kelly is just way too vanilla.
Well, I mean, that's how he was. Sorry, I don't mean to yawn.
It's okay.
Oh, God, yeah, I'll know the situation there. I mean, he was really that way, though, in WWE. He never really expressed anything, you know? He is your... I'm going to say your typical play-by-play. I mean, and when I say typical play-by-play, I mean literally calls the match, that's it. There's no, I mean, at least with JR, you got the half drool, you know, something like that. Joey Styles, when he was doing play-by-play, you know, expressive. Even Mike Tenay, knowledgeable. Not to say that Kevin Kelly's not knowledgeable.
Right.
Kevin Kelly is tremendously knowledgeable. I, would like to have him on the show sometime.
Love to.
But even, Gorilla, when Gorilla did play-by-play, he drew from experience.
Right.
All these guys, but just for some reason, I mean, Michael Cole was that way, until he started to become a douche.
Yeah. Well, now he's actually back to being himself for a little while, and I'm good with that.
Well, we know why. We saw what it took for. I mean, everybody always said it would take something tremendous to take the heat off of Michael Cole and turn him face again, and look what happened.
Pretty much. So for those of you who get a chance to, remember, catch ROHWrestling.com. Go check out the site. You'll find out the information on how to order the pay-per-view. I wholeheartedly recommend it. It looks like it's going to be a very solid show, hard-hitting professional wrestling action, Ring of Honor style, and it should be a great show and definitely worth the money for the iPay-per-view. Also, don't forget next Sunday night, the reason why I'm bringing this up now is there is a 99.73864% chance that we will not be broadcasting next Sunday, October 14th.
And for those of you who know, Chikara has their Chikara barometrics. For those of you who know Beyond Ringside Simplicity Math, knows that percentage actually really means the exact opposite, and that we will be back on October 14th. Because anybody who's listened to the show for a long time, I don't know, Eddie, can you see the chat room? Can you see the...
Yeah,
sure
I've seen a
covered?
number of names go in and out. And Daryl, always thank you. It's great to see you in the chat room, and you are greatly appreciated, my friend. To everybody who's come in and out of the chat room tonight, thank you.
Okay, anybody who's in the chat room who's listened to this show long enough, back me up here. Whenever Eddie says, "Oh, there's a blah 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 percent chance we're not going to do the show," how many times has he actually followed through with that?
And most of the time we end up doing the damn show anyway, but I'm going to be on location next week. My fat ass is going to be on the beach. Leave it alone. And I'm just hoping
Trust me, I wouldn't touch your fat ass to save my life.
I'm just hoping that I can lay out on the beach for 5 minutes without Greenpeace trying to throw me back in. That's what they said last time. Also, the reason why we're covering this next one, and let's do this rapid fire, dude.
Oh my God.
Next Sunday night, TNA, Bound for Glory. Pay-per-view in effect.
Are we doing predictions a week in advance?
Sure, why not? Let's do them. Joey Ryan versus Al Snow. Mabo.
And wait, I'm in the match too?
Mabo, your prediction.
Oh, prediction. I thought you said I was in the match. Joey Ryan. There's no way that the payoff. Come on.
I'm going with Al Snow on this one just because I can. Knockouts title match. Tara Tessmacher. Mabo.
I didn't even know Tessmacher still had the belt.
Yeah, she does, amazingly enough.
I don't know. I mean, people would say since Tara just re-signed a one-year contract that she's going to win it, but then we know how TNA screws things up. But I'm still going to go. I'm going to say Tara.
I'm saying Tara, too. I think she's a better champion than Tessmacher. With all due respect, Brooke, sorry, no moving parts. I'll take moving parts. Love you, Tara. TV title match, Magnus Samoa Joe. Why this match is taking place, I have no damn idea. Mabo.
To wrap up a storyline that started 6 months ago.
Okay.
Samoa Joe.
I'm going with Joe also. Street fight, Bobby Roode, James Storm. Special enforcer, King Mo Lawal. Maybe.
I'm going to say James Storm, just so he can finally get his peace of mind.
Me too. World Tag Team Championship match, Styles and Angle for Guerrero and Hernandez, and Daniels and Kazarian. Mabo and Mabo.
I'm gonna. I would like to say Chavo and Hernandez. But I still think it looks more comfortable on Daniels and Kazarian. I know Styles and Angle don't need it. That's all. That's all I'm going to say.
For those who... I have to say this. I respect Chavo Guerrero's body of work in the industry of professional wrestling. I think that he is an enduring star. And I think he is a tremendous personality. But someone who, after the debut, has become more of a non-factor in a promotion... It's Chavo Guerrero, and I am so sorry.
I can one-up you on that.
I'm sure you can.
Kenny King.
Yeah, pretty much. Where was he last week? Don't know.
Where was he for the past month?
Don't know. Yeah, I thought when Rhett Titus was going to bring out his mystery partner to square off against Haas and Benjamin last night on ROH, I thought it was going to be Kenny King coming back. Oh, was I disappointed. I'm going to say Guerrero and Hernandez do get the titles this time because they need something to really push them to the forefront. Are we going to find out next Sunday that Eric Bischoff is the man behind Aces and Eights?
See, that's the thing is, even though we know that was him sitting there, if you couldn't tell just by having seen Bischoff for I don't know how many years, just the way he spoke, the candor in his voice, you know that was Bischoff. He so sounded like Bischoff, which makes me think it's not going to be Bischoff. It's you know what it might be? It might be Garrett. I don't know. Because you noticed, remember a couple weeks ago when Hogan's like, hey, you know what? You're not in the TV title tournament or the TV title four-way or whatever it was, the match. Did you notice the look that Garrett shot Hulk?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a feeling it might be the Bischoffs. It might be Bubba Ray. Hell, son, it might be Abyss. We don't know. As long as it's not Hogan himself.
Yeah, really. I mean, and does Bully Ray turn on Sting in order to do this match outright and get Aces and Eights unlimited access to the Impact Zone?
I don't know. I just love Billy. Yes, I love Billy Ray Cyrus. He was awesome on Hannah Montana, and his mullet was extravagant. What Bully Ray's doing these days is, I mean, I know Wicked's a big fan of, huge fan of the Dudleys back in the day. He was heel Dudleys. I was there for face Dudleys. I was there for original stuttering 300-pound Bubba. And, I love their stuff back then. Love the WWE stuff. But what he's doing now, to me, is the best he has done in his entire career.
Agreed.
He looks phenomenal. He's in great shape. So whatever Bully or Bubba or Billy Bob Thornton, whatever you want to call him, whatever he does so far has pretty much been gold. So
yeah.
But
so you don't think they're going to turn him?
Huh?
You don't think they're going to turn him?
Well, I mean, he's already heel.
No, you don't think they're going to put him with aces and eights?
I don't know. I mean, is he going to be the leader? Who knows? Like I said, whatever they do with Bubba is going to be phenomenal.
And in the most irrelevant World Championship match I've ever seen in
wait. Oh, you didn't ask me who's going to win the match.
Well, yeah, I did. That's kind of the lead into it. Who do you think's going to win?
Oh, aces and eights.
So do I. I think it's all a bunch of crap. Sorry, I think Sting deserves better than that, and Bully does too. To me, this particular world title match is irrelevant almost, because if they put the belt on Hardy, I'm sorry, I have nothing for TNA booking. They need to keep the belt on Austin Aries, so based on that factor alone, I think Aries is a better champion, he's a better talker, he's a better worker, plain and simple. My pick, Austin Aries. Please keep the belt on him. Bowman.
Don't you ever talk about my trailer or my dog burning down again, Matt. Anyway, dude, the only reason why they're going to, if they put the belt on him, is because they're trying to keep him from going back to WWE when his contract is up. You know what? He's going to go regardless if you put the belt on him.
He's done it before.
Huh?
He's done it before.
Yeah. So, hey, here's an idea. Don't get me wrong. I think it's great that he turned his life around. I think it's great that he cleaned up. You know, for once, he's not known as the messed up Hardy. But you know what? If the guy's wanting to go back, let him go back. Don't sit there and pander to him and put the belt on him just because you think he might stay. No, don't. Leave it on a guy who deserves it. Leave it on a guy who has been a workhorse, not just for TNA, but for any company he's ever been with. Do the right thing. Think it through. Do I think this match is going to be great? Who knows? Will it be interesting? Definitely, because, I mean, you know, they're two different styles, but the same style at the same time. If that makes any sense, which it doesn't, but, you know, that's
actually
me.
Does.
But I think the match, I think it's going to be good. It's going to be good with the potential of being awesome. Is it going to be like a Joe Aries Ring of Honor? Or, you know, Joe Daniels style? Anything like that? You know, no. But is it going to be? It has, you know, not to steal from AJ, but it has phenomenal potential, and I look forward to it, or at least seeing the results, because I'm probably not going to pay for it. So.
Well, actually, let me go ahead and say this, because I thought that I had it pulled up. The show will, the pay-per-view will be shown in a theater in Birmingham. I believe it's the Galleria 10. It's a Carmike Cinema. I had it pulled up and I can't find it, so therefore I have screwed up and lost it. There is something that I want to hit on real quick for last call, and I'm going to make this brief, but I'm going to get through this start to finish. I'm going to say in advance that I know that this is going to draw heat and draw commentary from both sides of the aisle. Just know this: I'll respect your opinion to the same degree that you respect mine. And let me also start by saying I'm speaking as me, Eddie Lane, nothing more, nothing less. I'm not speaking as the host of Beyond Ringside. I'm not speaking on behalf of Global Championship Wrestling or in my role as commissioner. This is me. There's been a lot of ballyhoo on a number of different fronts regarding the recent GCW show, Fall Brawl. The show that had a certain reality TV star and her family come in for a meet and greet. Here's the truth, kids. As it stands, in this circumstance, this particular reality TV star and her family just happened to be fans of a certain pro wrestler who works with Global Championship Wrestling. That's how all this got started. That's how the appearance was started. As a businessman, I respect the fact that things were able to be worked out the way that they did. I own my own business. I'm in business to make a living and make money. I do not know of anyone who starts out the day by going, "Hey, how much money can I lose today?" Nobody who runs a business Nobody who works wants to lose money. They want to make money. And from what I can tell, this event, Fall Brawl, was a great success in more ways than one. GCW advertised 10 matches. We delivered 11. Featuring very talented wrestlers and workers from 3 different states and then some. Some of whom GCW mainstays. Some who were not. GCW advertised that the doors would open at 6:30. The doors opened at 6:05. It was advertised that the show would start at 7:30. It rolled out at 7:15. And for the record, I know for fact people were still trying to come in the door at 8 p.m. and later. Because of the fire marshal, we had to post a sign on the door saying sold out. Plain and simple. It was the fire marshal who made us do it. We didn't do it on our own accord. This has been said in many different forms by different people. Cross promotions occur all the time. And they occur in professional wrestling on every scale, from local to regional to national. Note, Impact Wrestling brought in Toby Keith, country and western star, for one of their first shows. WWE has brought in numerous non-wrestling personalities over the years in order to try to expand their audience base. Matter of fact, a castmate here on BR, all of us remember that we've covered a promotion called Power Pro Wrestling out of the North Carolina market. Jim Fox, Dick Foley, Mark James, Michael Devine, Scotty Matthews, and company. They brought in cast members from Lizard Lick Towing for one of their shows. I'm going to dare say that there's not much of a difference. I'm going to put this one out there to everybody. Would it be any different, or would it be much different, if Global had brought in Chumley from Pawn Stars, or Chip Foose from Overhauling? There's always a situation where you may just find, if not will find, fans of your industry in other audiences. And smart business dictates you have to take advantage of every opportunity in order to try to get the name of your company out there for people to see. As stated earlier, I own and operate a mobile DJ service that handles wedding receptions, birthday parties, and other special occasions. Arrangements were made for my company to have commercial reads during the pregame of the Birmingham Barons home games. Wedding reception, baseball, birthday party, baseball. You know something? You never know who's in the audience until you try. I'll be willing to wager that the number of promotions that have brought in someone else who is not in the business will far outweigh the number of those that have not. That having been said, Honey Boo Boo is not a multi-platinum recording artist, not a Grammy Award-winning recording artist, but that show in and of itself is a runaway hit in the ratings for the TLC network. It has a national audience that you can't deny. That having been said, I've never seen the show. Before Fall Brawl at GCW, you could have lined up 10 kids, and I couldn't have told you which one was Honey Boo Boo. But that's just me. With everything else that's been said, I've had the honor of being a part of the wrestling industry for over 25 years. And speaking from that perspective, and as a person who has been a part of the GCW locker room, Global Championship Wrestling locker room, for quite a few years, I am eternally thankful for the fact that my co-workers, my brothers and sisters in the locker room, were able to work in front of an audience that size. The Pell City Civic Center sold out. I've worked in front of crowds ranging from 50, 25 to over 5,000. You hope to be able to apply your trade in front of a great audience. That night, I'm pretty sure that there were people who came that never heard of GCW and probably not fans of pro wrestling. But as the night went on, I'm pretty darn sure a big number of those people became fans of pro wrestling, fans of a number of the people who were in the ring that night, And yes, fans of Global Championship Wrestling. Personally, I cannot ask for any more than that. Mark Bowman, shameless plugs, real quick.
Oh, wait. Sorry. Mabo, it may be under whatever, Twitter.
MA_BO.
Yeah. And don't have to do the Bev Nerd because we had a live Bev Nerd shameless plug. Bob's Comics over there in the Birmingham area. Eyewitness Store on Facebook. Creative Concepts on Facebook. Also, good friend of mine, Tiffany, ladies, and Eddie, I need to get with you on something about this concerning too. And guys, Mary Kay Products by Tiffany. If you need to order any Mary Kay products for your girl, for yourself, or, dude stuff, whatever, just get in touch with me on Facebook, and I will get you in touch with Tiffany. She's literally taking off with this Mary Kay stuff. So if you want to look good, smell good, I don't know, taste good, I don't know if they have powders you can lick off your face or not. Definitely look into it. Get in touch with me on Facebook, Mark Bowman, and I will direct you to her. And I did come up with a real quick, just a last call, Eddie. It's not really a last call. I've seen Hulk Hogan's penis.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm serious, dude. I saw it on Gawker. I saw 1 minute of the 30-minute Hulk Hogan porn.
Real quick, you can also find tag team partner Wicked Nemesis at Wicked Nemesis over on Twitter, Wicked Nemesis Enoch over on Facebook. He's got the fan page, the Wicked Nemesis Enoch Tessarian. Wednesday night, To Be Determined show over on TNT-radio.net. Remember, in about 28 minutes from right now, Global Championship Wrestling's GCW Radio goes live. Yours truly, Ted Guinness, JJ Tanner, O'Hagan, Mad Dog Dan Sawyer scheduled to join us, and you never know what's going to happen.
And Eddie, don't forget, Wicked's also on YouTube. Funny or Die. Was it VO?
Yeah. No, we don't mention VO because of the Trojan.
Okay, so what is it? Funny? It's Facebook Funny or Die, or YouTube
Daily
Funny or Die,
Motion.
and there's another one he does.
Daily Motion.
Daily Motion. I knew it was one of those. So yeah, go look at his stuff with the Bohemian Beatdown Grove things and stuff and Hulk Hogan's penis. Over to you, Fast Eddie Lane. Sure.